Live from the USS Cerritos and somewhere in the galaxy, let's pour one out. It's Friday night.
Hello. How did I end up in the middle? I had Father in the middle when I left. Now, Ruben's on the bottom.
I escaped, obviously.
That's where I like to be.
She's the host. She should be center.
She should. She should. Well, hello. I think we have Joel in the audience. I have to send the tweet, so you know what that means, right? One of y'all make it show. I'll be right back.
Make it show.
Actually, Stanley, you do it this time and tell everyone what we're doing. Maybe we could get some order in this bitch.
Pressure.
Oh, you're the acting captain.
All right. So everybody's gay now, right? Just
baby.
How's everybody doing? Let's do a round of on-air intros. Why don't you say your name and how you're feeling today?
Yeah, I'm Marcelo, and until a couple hours ago, I was feeling pretty lackluster. But you know, hanging out with some good friends tonight is really elevating my day. You know, if it wasn't for the sort of sour news that I got a couple hours ago, I would be in a stable state of mind. So, but it's trending in that direction.
Oh, is it me? Hi, my name is Sean, but a lot of people call me Toddy for Trek on the Tube.
Oh my God, Sean!
I was a YouTube channel called Trek on the Tube where I just say a bunch of like really silly things in a very bizarre accent that's hard to place on a map because I've lived in New Zealand, France, and Canada. But I don't really make much content these days, so you subscribe if you want to like only see a video once every like 3 or 4 months.
Speaking of Lower Decks, he streams on my channel for Lower Decks. That's where you can
exclusively
see
8,000 subscribers. For a hot second, I thought you were being serious. I was like, his name is Sean?
Yes.
How did I...
No. That's our friend Trek on the Tube.
Yes. No, I know Toddy. But when you first did it, I was like, wait a minute, that's not. I thought I got thrown. I've been thrown like that twice today. The Scorch posted what looked like a selfie of a female presenting person, and I have been under the impression that the Scorch is a male presenting person.
No.
I don't know why. Queerness is fun and non-binary in many ways and on the binary in many ways, and so it's always thrown. But the Scorch has been secretive of the identity, or not secretive, very Scorch forward, not very I run the account forward. So I was like, oh, how interesting.
I just always assumed it was a woman running the account just based on the tweets, but I don't it's funny that I made that assumption so full-heartedly.
Yeah. Speaking of assumptions,
I don't know. I always thought the Scorch was a lady because the Enterprise is a lady.
And I should have thought that too. But
can a ship identify as a non-lady though? Can there be a ship that uses?
I think Zora is the unique ship that can communicate its wishes, but the Enterprise, as far as we know,
most of them don't give a shit. Like my dog. If I decided my dog was going to be a girl dog and I started giving him she/her pronouns, I don't think he would ever care. But
right, who knows?
It's funny. People get so apologetic when you misgender a dog. Like it's funny how big of a deal they'll make about it if you do it to a dog. But then if you ask them to respect a human's pronouns, that seems to be a lot more difficult.
For folks popping in, this is not about gendering dogs.
Welcome to Gendering Dogs. We missed our friend in the bottom right corner with introduction. Sorry.
Sorry. My name is also Sean. You might also know me as Trek on the Tube. Where I do a video every 3 months and somehow have thousands of subscribers because my accent is sexy and I have pretty eyes.
And before I turn it back over to our host, I am Sean, also known as Trek on the Tube. And
We are all Sean.
Oh my god.
He
Or should we rehearse
assimilated
us
us.
all saying it in unison?
I can't escape Trek on the Tube no matter what I do.
We are the Sean.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
cursed.
How did you echo your voice to make it sound like you actually were like multi-voiced? That's so creepy.
We are the
Or was
Sean.
that just my imagination? Or is that just because I've been drinking this wonderful gin that I got in San Diego? So I don't know. It's
All
one one of those things. We got a kiss kick from Paramount today. It was like here's a kiss and then here's a kick also. And then we also got more news this week about like stuff that Paramount's doing, like G.I. Joe and Transformers crossovers and a Star Trek Origin. I don't know what Star Trek Origin means. I'm on the Geek Filter, our friend Aaron Harvey's side. It should be a Captain April movie. But I don't know.
so that's the first thing we're going to talk about is that
No,
weirdness.
no, I'm just
wanna-
putting out
Yeah,
all
talk
the.
about,
this
talk
is
about the
the- oh,
Toby
sorry.
Haynes thing. Talk about the Toby Haynes
This is
movie.
the
I want a
opening.
whole movie or show about Data's pen pal, that weird little alien girl.
Sarjenka.
Sarjenka. Where she grows up to be a tyrant on her world.
Wait, did he not
Probably.
save her? I thought they didn't save her. I thought
They saved him.
Oh, I
Fucking
forgot.
wiped her
Yeah.
memory.
It was a weird episode. That was what a fun episode to try and turn into
Immoral
a popular
sons of
movie.
bitches. They just wiped her memory.
Oh, we have Joanne in the audience. Hello, Joanne.
Can you
Hello,
guys hear me
Norman.
okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Now we can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Were you not
Yeah.
heard? I'm so sorry.
I can
No,
always do
because
my-
because my
telepathically.
no my
Alright.
webcam has been acting a little funky over the past couple weeks, so
We
I
have
had
a
trouble
lively
connecting
audience.
I know.
I had
it's
trouble
really great.
connecting it, and I got my good headphones back on, so I got those to work all of a sudden.
I finally
Norman,
got the chat
Joel,
up.
Joanne,
Ooh.
Art. What do y'all want us to talk about?
Yeah, what should we
Instead
talk
of
about? There's so much to
headphones.
talk about. This is kind of crazy. We don't know what to talk about first. I think we should talk about
So
Lower
here's
Decks
an
a little bit.
idea. So here's an
ahead.
idea.
What's
How
that?
do you think Mike McMahon is going to handle the final season of Lower Decks? Is he going to make it a true sort of final season, or is it just going to be
No.
like a
How can he?
of course not, because
They've already made it.
It's already done.
So,
Yeah, they're in post.
Right,
Will
so
they?
so how
Maybe we
how
could
is it gonna
campaign to
handle
get
that?
them a budget
Ta-
to like kind of.
Tani,
made it
Tani
before
said
they were
they've
canceled.
recorded everything. She said she
Oh.
might have to she might have to come back in for some pickups, but it's already like most of her dialogue has been in the can for months.
Yeah.
They should
That's-
just give them one more
how the hell-
episode to do like a kind of well, I don't
Or
know.
you know, or
That's
you know
crazy.
what about this final season? And I know I always go down this road, but those of you who have streamed with me for a while know that I do this. What about this season that they got now? What about giving us a Lower Decks movie to say goodbye?
Well, what about not to say goodbye at all and just give us Lower Decks
Right.
and movies?
So
Like,
hell, but I'm trying to work with what we have here.
Yeah,
Sorry,
be
just-
realistic. Like you know what if Avery Brooks came back and did 5 seasons of a Deep Space Nine revival show? I mean, like we can like what if all day, but
Hang
I
on,
think
hang
it'd be more
on.
entertaining to be realistic.
That orgasm you hear is Joanne freaking out about Avery Brooks coming back into the franchise.
Okay.
She's in the audience?
she is,
She
and she
is.
says, Joanne says,
Well, she might
hold
not
on.
be now, but she was.
wait, where
Yeah,
is this?
Gotta go clean up.
My chat thing. Oh, here we go. I don't like
Squinch.
Lower Decks, but I think a movie would be great.
There she
Uh,
is.
Norman says, seriously, Lower Decks, of course, which should have had 7 seasons. You know, I'm one of those, I posted about this. I'm one of those Lower Decks, as far as I'm concerned, could have gone on as long as it wanted. So
Yeah.
I'm bummed to hear that it's finished because I wouldn't have minded ending at 5 seasons if they got to tell a story that kind of like let them end the show. Not necessarily like end like the story, but just the wrap up the show in a way like kind of how like which I imagine, you know, is something similar to what Lower Decks, the vibe of Lower Decks would be, is like TNG didn't really end. All good things just kind of. I love that it's just they're going to just continue on these missions, and so then happily Lower Decks should graduate to a movie. But maybe they could give him one more episode. Maybe we could get a couple. Something. Who knows?
The movie is not that unlikely. We know that Alex Kurtzman wants to give Paramount Plus these solo movies, like the Section 31 movie. He wants to keep doing that, and you don't have to worry about budget as much with Lower Decks. You don't have to deal with sets, wardrobes, props, anything. Titmouse is gonna keep all those files saved. All you got to do is write a script and get those voice actors to come sit in front of a microphone again and say the lines, and you can put together a Lower Decks movie pretty quickly. So I think of any Star Trek show that is ending now, Picard, Discovery, Lower Decks, a Prodigy, whatever, I think the one that's most likely to get a continuation in the future is Lower Decks by far.
Yeah. I think maybe Paramount, or not Paramount necessarily, I should say, like maybe the next phase, Star Trek shows, like at least the original series, The Next Generation, they like had their run, whatever it was, whether they were canceled or they had a full 7, the magic 7 seasons or whatever. Those 2 shows went on to do movies, and then after that we just went back to the original series in terms of like what we explored in movies. Section 31 kind of represents the first time that they're playing with the whole like putting out a feature that's not for theatrical release but more for streaming release. I think it'd be cool if we, because I'm really bummed about Discovery ending too. It'd be cool if we did get a series of movies that could get greenlit like maybe every 2 years for these shows that are ending now. So like
I don't think that's realistic though. I don't think.
Why not? It's like you do this every 2 or 3 years.
There's not a mainstream audience for a Discovery movie.
I don't know that that's totally true. And as Father, shows grow. Like the thing, like Star Trek shows tend to age better. Like they tend to like get rewatched or get introduced to new audiences. So like I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to get a Discovery revisit in the form of a movie or Lower Decks or any of the shows that are ending
on
in
streaming.
The form
but I don't think
on streaming.
On streaming.
That's what I'm saying is on streaming like every few years.
It's so much cheaper.
That's the whole thing I'm talking about.
Theaters.
Right, but what I mean is they'll graduate to that same
$120
idea.
$120 million movie of like starring Sonequa Martin Green and Doug Jones, like
right. So Lower Decks and Discovery, and eventually Strange New Worlds, even Picard Legacy could turn into that model in a way as well. Like all of these shows could turn into streaming movie series, just like the original series casted, and so and so on and so forth. So you wouldn't have to like spend the money to do like 10 episodes. You just have to do like the like a movie, like a 2-hour feature or whatever, however long you want to make it, every few years. And I would totally tune in for that, or pay a little extra premium. I hate to be that person. But...
there's I think it's exciting if Paramount Plus was to merge with Peacock and
become Mount Cock as Stanley and the Salon.
I mean, that's going to be a lot of fuel for the Salon. I mean, y'all are going to get a lot of mileage out of that, like miles and miles of Mount Cock, I'm sure. But
yes. Where's my alert?
Oh yeah, we don't have the cool drops on here.
I don't have any of that stuff.
I can pull up slides, but I can't pull up my videos.
That's okay. But I lost my train
of
thought anyways.
No, well, we were just talking about the future of these shows, and I do think they could come back for like a lot of movies. I'd rather have Lower Decks as a continuing series that just like continues into these, maybe the next generation of Lower Deckers. I don't know. I just really love. I guess I was too attached to that magic number 7, but whatever. 5 seasons. Sorry, is supposedly a solid gold benchmark these days in the streaming world, according to what I'm hearing.
Well, one thing that I thought was interesting today is everybody and their mother, not everybody, but like the toxic fandom came out in droves when it was announced that season 5 was going to be Discovery's last, and they're crickets with today's announcement. like I kept seeing people be like, see, it sucks, nobody likes it, that's why it's not getting past season 5, and that's just not a realistic expectation of any streaming show at this point. I think other than Discovery, live action streaming era shows, like only one other has gone that far, on the streamers, not the networks. I think that the thing that what I find interesting with today's announcement is it just continues the business side of Paramount not knowing what to do with their biggest and best not their biggest, but one of their biggest and one of their best franchises. Because in a Friday news dump, they give us good news about Strange New Worlds and then bad news about Lower Decks.
Which one did they announce first?
They did it at the same time.
It was the same tweet.
In the same tweet.
Oh my god!
Wow.
They're like, guess what? Strange New Worlds gets season 4, and season 5 will be the last. And the way that they were like, and it will be the final season of Lower Decks, as if it was like a good announcement or like it made sense.
No.
How else do you tell people it's the final season of a TV show? Then be like, this is the final season.
You don't yet. We're in the middle of Discovery's 5th season. Let them have their swan song. Announce Strange New Worlds even next week, Monday.
Next week.
Be like, it like they're trying to sell Paramount right now. Announce it Monday as something that they're excited about. We are so excited about what we're seeing being in production for season 3. We're going to go ahead and renew it for season 4 now. And then in a few weeks after Discovery is off the air, that's when you start to tease out Lower Decks and say, we've made the difficult decision that this will be the last season. And that way it's not a Friday news dump. It's not sandwiched with good news. It like Paramount just doesn't know how to do and they never have from the jump. The last season we got of Discovery 2 years ago, because of a lot of balloons. 3 episodes overlapped with Picard, and then Picard ended with Picard season 2, and Picard season 2 ended with Strange New Worlds premiere on the same day. They don't plan these things out. They don't
think they do
have
that
any
on
kind of
purpose,
long-term view.
Don't you think that was intentional? Because they
No.
were like.
No,
See, I think they do that
care.
on purpose because they want like the algorithms that they look at that type of shit. They look at like.
Wait,
oh,
so what?
if we,
sorry, I'm sorry. I'm playing a video game.
As far as like when they schedule things, or even like when they make announcements, I think they look at like, oh well, when will it trend? I think they're always focused on that. Which is a pain in the ass for me because I don't like these multiple episode premieres. I don't like when they premiere on a finale, and I don't like when they premiere with 2 episodes. But they do it to get some type of algorithmic boost.
Wait, so what happened with Picard season 2?
So Discovery season 4, the last 3 episodes overlapped with the first 3 episodes of Picard season 2. So the same day we're getting 2 episodes of Trek, very different shows. And when Picard season 2 ended, it was the same day that the Strange New World season 1 premiered.
Yeah.
So Father, I think you're right. They are making these choices.
That makes more sense than the overlap. Because you want one to end and one to start, so that you continually have people engaging with the streaming service. You don't want the overlap because then you're wasting.
You're not spacing it out.
You're not spacing it out. You want one to end and one to start, and one to end and one to start.
But
so
it was a weird year. 2022 was a weird year because there were 50 episodes of Star Trek released in a single year, which was the only time that's happened since DS9 went off the air in '99.
Yeah, but I just think it could have been spaced out better, and the same thing with the news today.
But I
announced good news on its own.
I really like your idea, Stan, of waiting until Discovery has its final season or has its final swan song, and then waiting like a week after Discovery to give Lower Decks its own day to announce, "Hey, we're so excited about the about this current season of Lower Decks, but we've made the tough decision that this will be its fun." I really like that because you're so right. They dumped it in the trash with good news and bad news, and it would have been really good just to have Lower Decks have its own announcement by itself. But
especially after that Variety article about how amazing the franchise is doing right now. Like
the
just
Variety
kidding.
article. I think that Variety article came out a little early than they originally planned. I think they were going to hold on to that closer to the premiere of Disco, but because of Prodigy, because of the bad news with Prodigy, they're like, holy shit, let's push the Variety article out.
Yeah.
By the
It'll
way,
be
I'm
interesting to
stepping
see
real
what
quick just
happens with
to.
Prodigy.
I just want to step in real
might
quick
know
to say
Wednesday.
that now's a really good time. Aaron Walkie tweeted about this to rewatch Prodigy because and Lower Decks might as well give. I think the thing is like it's such a hard thing, right? Like there's so many shows to watch, you can't just like keep them on.
Open Netflix.
But I just open
in
it, yeah,
one
open a window, and
tab
just play it. It's
Paramount
true.
Plus and
I have
another
Lower
But
tab.
also-
Decks on in the background.
I
It was
decided I'm
actually-
going to be more of an evangelist, like in my life. I don't think I introduce people to Star Trek as much as I could. Like, I think it's a fun thing. I know Jörg Hildebert on Twitter, Jörg, who does all the kind of his kind of Star Trek observations. He watches regular with friends in person and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to see if I can get like a TV show club going and get like folks to watch Star Trek, because I think that's one of the things we also have to do is like kind of get more folks who could benefit from a show like Star Trek into it.
Hell,
And
I ain't got no in-person friends. I can't do that.
well, we're doing a good job now. Like we're already talking about it, but I think we could be reaching out, to
Have
more
a-
people.
you know,
I don't know.
I
Maybe one
mean,
more. Have
no,
have
I
Star
mean-
Trek dates. Why not have dates? Star Trek dates.
You know-
like, if you-
I do have been known to bring dates home. I have shown people the girl I'm seeing now. We're watching all of Star Trek in production order, and we just started season 3 of the original series, and she's younger than me, but she's really into the original series. Like she's a big nerd for like production design and like the
Marry
sets
her.
and the wardrobe.
If she could
Marry
get
that woman.
if she could get to the 3rd season of the original series, that is wife material.
Well, she'd probably like hearing that, but
put a ring on it, man. Don't even ask questions.
I think Arthur was asking earlier in the chat, like, so what should Trekkies do? Like, what could we do? I guess we got to know what Mike McMahon and the whole cast want to do. You know what I mean?
Here's
Kind of
my
just
pitch.
like wait.
To next week.
Was
He
that
has a good
Hulu?
Oh, I like-
relationship with them.
Mike McMahon has
get
that
along with
relationship.
them.
Yeah.
I guess we
but-
just have to watch their feeds and
Max.
take a cue.
Max
Yeah.
likes
Oh,
Star
Max would be
Trek.
amazing.
Max keeps renewing the license on the movies. They might want to, and they're possibly in talks with Paramount Plus now for possible merging of not companies, but of just the streaming platforms.
Streaming
of just-
services, yeah.
Oh, neat.
Um,
So it would be Paramax,
maybe. But there's supposedly
maximum mount. Sorry,
I still think it should be Peacock Mount Cock. We got Mount Cock would be a great service.
Sorry, Father. Go ahead.
They've talked to Amazon Prime and Max and Peacock, all 3. So
Jeff Bezos, I hope I'm saying your name. No, I don't actually hope I'm saying your name.
Oh, who
name
cares?
right.
He's a billionaire. He can handle it.
But you love Star Trek. Just save it. Come on. But can you get a tax write-off by saving a show?
I
making more
actually
episodes?
don't. I want Paramount to stay away from Amazon because I hate Amazon. And I don't use it, and I
He
don't
only
wanna
loved
use
Star
it.
Trek when they introduced the Ferengi.
I think
Just got-
Peacock's the
that was
most
slow, I
likely
was
though.
slow.
I think Comcast has the most to gain by merging with a arguably better streaming platform. I think Peacock's the only platform that people can make the argument is worse than Paramount Plus.
No, I'll take.
There are
Peacock
some
over
great
any day
shows
over
on it, like
Paramount Plus.
The app sucks. Both apps suck for a user experience, but Peacock has some really great shows on it. Like Killing
Peacock
It
got some
is,
awesome stuff on it.
yeah, Killing
have,
It is fucking hilarious. Girls 5 Eva was hilarious, but they let that go to Netflix.
Below Decks.
They got great movies on there. Tons of horror movies on there.
I'm
But they would
super
have so
addicted
many
to Below Deck
sports.
Down Under.
See, okay, that's
Have live
that's going to be a
sports
big
on there.
key in this. Oh, the sports thing is. And I'm sorry, like people who hate sports ball and like you're going to be bored by this. I'm sorry, but it's important for if you care about
I'm tuning
streaming
out. It's fine.
platforms.
Let me know when I can come back in.
Disney and Warner Brothers and Fox Sports are launching a new streaming platform that's going to have so kind of a combination between Fox Sports and Disney, Hulu, and Max. But it's going to have your TNT NBA games. It's going to have all of your ESPN sports. It's going to have all of your Fox NFC NFL games. It's going to have all of your ABC and Fox college football games. So it's going to be a massive streaming platform. The people they're leaving out, though, are Paramount, CBS, and Comcast, NBC. So if they combined Peacock and Paramount Plus into one streaming platform, it would have all of those sports that are left out of this big sports streaming platform. So I think that's going to be strong motivation for Comcast and Paramount to merge their platforms. Also, they've already done that in some overseas markets. In Eastern Europe, Comcast and Paramount have merged their whatever was something, one of the Sky streaming platforms that's over there. So I think that's going to be the most likely outcome. I'm done talking about sports, Stan.
But can I ask a question? Sorry you might
Good
have
point,
to put your
though.
forehead back on the mic there. But isn't that kind of like a Star Trek thing? Like, wasn't Voyager with wrestling? And also, isn't there a wrestler who's like a super Trekkie or something like that now? Like, isn't there like a huge?
There was a
don't-
UPN thing. It was WrestleMania
The
was
Rock
on,
was on.
I don't know if it was WrestleMania, but a wrestling whatever was on after Voyager on UPN, and so they did it as a lead-in, having The
WWF
Rock on the show.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rock was on an
okay.
episode of
They
Voyager.
they wanted Enterprise to have a band every week.
I would have loved that.
Oh,
But they were like, how the fuck is that going to happen, you dumb?
no, you dumb
The
shit.
network. Ugh.
Could Lower Decks
show
have
could
a
have been
band
so much better if they went with their original pitch. Their original pitch was A, let us have a year off the air. B, the first year is going to be on Earth, getting
Earth.
ready for the voyage. And they had a rough 5-year outline.
Mm.
Or they had a
Also-
rough 5 years to build up.
You know,
Also,
Stan, it's
I
am-
do-
am- Go ahead, Marcelo.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Father. I just find it real quick. I just find it real curious that Discovery 5 seasons, Lower Decks 5 seasons. So now I'm starting to really go away from the golden number of 7 years. And I'm really thinking in the back of my mind if all new Star Trek shows are going to just last 5 years, and then they're going
If
to.
even that. I
Yeah.
think the
I think we
number of
just ha-
seasons
yeah.
is more arbitrary than we want to believe. Like
I mean, the number of seasons is irrelevant nowadays.
it's always going to be ratings driven and budget driven. Like TNG ended at 7 seasons because they thought they would be more profitable in the movies.
Yep.
Just Deep Space Nine and Voyager. I learned this when we were doing our Thumbs Wars on the Salon for Deep Space Nine. One of the sites that I was looking at for episode synopsis had the ratings for each episode, and there is a significant drop for both of those series as the seasons went on. So ending at 7 seasons just made sense, and of course Enterprise got canceled early because their ratings fell even further. So in the streaming universe, I think Discovery fell in a golden age of A, it brought Trek back. B, it came in as one of the first things to happen in the streaming boom when all of these streamers were trying to just throw all the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. And so like the 5th season, because it is the toxic fandom doesn't want to believe it, but it is a very popular show. You just can't be outwardly in favor of Discovery on Twitter without people popping out of their trash can to say something racist at you.
You can if you're a straight white man, because people never give me shit anymore. But I see other people deal with it. But
I mean, I would 100% debate what you mean by popular.
I know somebody who worked at Paramount and told me that it was doing exceptionally well.
Okay.
Well, I would
I
still
just-
argue in
I think-
comparison to what?
For Paramount
I'm not gonna.
Plus,
I'm
it's
not
Well,
gonna
for
go with
Paramount
like. I
Plus,
don't have
that
like.
doesn't mean it's popular.
I don't have numbers, but just like I interact with a lot of Trekkies, and the vibes that I get are that Discovery is pretty popular. Like, and that a lot of
Yeah,
folks just don't go on Twitter or
Okay.
anything like that. They're not like dealing with the discourse, and that discourse is like a very like encapsulated.
Who doesn't think?
thing-
Who thinks Discovery is not popular? Like that's.
There's a lot of people who
talk.
say it's
Oh,
not. Like
a lot of
that guy
people-
Nerd Rotted.
Millions of people
anyone
who don't
who
even know
watches-
Discovery exists.
Anyone
like
who
an-
watches
Oh
modern
yeah,
Star
sure.
Trek
There's
though, is
actually
into
billions
Discovery.
of people that don't know Discovery exists, but like a lot of people that like Star Trek that I talk to like Discovery. They're not like crazy about it, like
Oh, but that's
maybe some
different.
people are. But
Yeah,
and also a lot of
Already
people.
like the
yeah, but
franchise.
within the
They're
fandom,
gonna
within-
keep liking it usually.
yeah, exactly.
That
But,
doesn't
like,
mean it's popular.
no, well, not in like the grand.
Because even
I
people
mean,
who don't
no,
watch
like,
Stranger
Ruben,
Things
we're not.
knows
Star
what
Trek's
Stranger
never.
Things is.
You can't ever talk about Star Trek in terms of like mass popularity. It's
Right.
other than the Kelvin films. I think it's never been.
Incorrect, sir.
What do you mean?
TNG was getting 12 million viewers per episode.
Yeah,
in
that's nothing compared to
1995.
like what like the most
It was a
but
popular
top
there
shows
were
at the
fewer
time we're
TV
getting.
shows. Like
It
there's
was
so
a
many
top
TV
20
shows
show
now.
running through syndication.
Sure, but
popular.
then Star Trek disappeared for like 12 years or however long.
And the TV
And,
landscape
after
is
they
so
diluted
different.
it.
Yeah, like, and the only people that
After they
held it up
diluted
were
the
they
hell out
can't.
of it, yes.
They can't.
Yeah,
What's
they-
that?
After they diluted the hell out of it, yes, it went out of fashion because they kept doing
Sure,
shows.
but like again, talking about popular. Well, first of all, let me
He
just say, for
explained
someone who
how every
doesn't
show
follow,
got worse
for
ratings.
someone who doesn't care about the new shows, you sure like have like a low idea of like its popularity because you're probably comparing it to a larger viewing thing that you're like watching a ton of shows. You're like, I'm just talking it specifically in the science fiction world. I feel like Star Trek's pretty popular, and Discovery is, it's popular because that includes negative and positive press. It's talked about a lot. Like they're always talking about it on both sides or
Yeah.
three sides or whatever side.
It
So
is. Whenever I make content on Discovery, it gets more interactions than
Yeah.
other stuff. And
so
Well,
within that
if you go
sphere
to
or
conventions,
whatever,
like
yeah.
the longest autograph line I've ever seen at a Star Trek convention my entire life was Sonequa Martin Green in Vegas. The
Yeah.
second longest was Ethan Peck, but it was when he had only been on Discovery before Strange New Worlds. It's popular with Star Trek fans. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's popular in like in
Broader sense.
mainstream TV audiences.
The reason I brought up
And
the
half the fans
season
don't like it. 'Cause
that
just
you
said
don't know
that-
that you don't know half the
Well,
fans.
I'm just saying half in general. I'm not actually meaning half in actual mathematical.
Well,
Are you
we're
just
just
saying it
gonna
as an
pull-
expression?
We're
You're
gonna pull
saying,
numbers.
you're saying
If we're
two
just gonna
things at
pull
the same
numbers
time.
out of
You're
our
saying that there's a
ass.
whole bunch of haters, and you're saying that the show is popular. But if people are hating on the show, then
No,
it's not
but
popular.
that's what I'm trying to say is that's
Are you
what
kidding?
popularity is. Like when you're popular, you're both hated and loved. Like
Look
popularity
at how
has nothing
polarized the country is right now.
Yeah,
Half of
it's weird.
like
So when
half the
Stranger
country
Things was the
hates-
most popular show on TV, it was also hated. I don't remember
What
anyone
show?
hating
Sorry?
on Stranger Things. Stranger
Well,
Things.
Stranger Things.
okay,
Probably
you're not.
one of the most-
Wait a minute. I'm gonna hop off because you're not even making good faith arguments. You're just pulling douchebag shit out of your ass. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop off.
Wow.
I don't understand what he is talking about. I'm trying to. Okay. Sorry.
We lost Stanley just like he went to the Black Mountain. Maybe he'll come back later. But yeah, Ruben, I think it's just like I think Star Trek maybe isn't as popuher as you would
Well,
like
I
it to
mean,
be.
you can't like.
but it is popular.
but again, all I was asking was popular in what sense?
In like the
Like,
sense of like it's
Lots
loved
of things are
and,
popular.
Star Trek
If you put them
Discovery's
in,
loved
depending
and-
on the.
and also hated, and it's talked about constantly, and it gets a lot of attention and like father.
But
You know,
if Star
just
Trek were popular, Paramount would be doing better, correct?
no, I don't think so.
Paramount's stock
Paramount.
is
I don't know
No,
how
it's not
Paramount
like
manages.
a popular hit. It's not like a big
Yeah.
hit TV show. It's
Right.
a Paramount
Like,
Plus
So
show.
how is that not a good faith argument? That's all I was saying.
Well, we're not gonna.
I'm not saying
Stanley's
it's not loved by
here.
Star Trek
Stanley-
fans. Obviously, you
Stanley's
guys
not
love
here
it.
to. We're not going to talk about that because Stanley's not here to talk to you about it. I'm not going to speculate as to his thoughts, but what I will say for my thoughts is that I just think you were just kind of hammering in on a thing that he probably didn't like to hear, or has heard too much and it was triggering, because it's something that I think I don't know what you want to name them today, but like a lot of the opposition of people who are trying to like have like, I guess, like just serious conversations, they kind of get into these loophole arguments about popularity and numbers and ratings, and we're just here to talk about, like,
or you were talking about popularity.
No, we were talking about Star Trek Lower Decks season 5. I know it was traumatic, Ruben. I'm sorry, but hey, that's what the After Dark show is all about. Like,
I'm sorry your friend got upset.
I just wanted to talk about. Well,
that's the sad reality of people.
We're all adults. You can come and go. You can come and go. Don't be sad. It's okay. I think Stanley will see you're not a bad faith person. Maybe you're annoying, but not a bad faith.
A raging incel douchebag. I just got called a raging incel douchebag.
Where are you seeing that?
On the chat.
Oh, let me see. Oh my god, I can tell you Ruben's not an incel. Are you guys joking?
I love it. It's amazing to me.
Oh, that's cerulean. Wow. Oh wow. Okay, well, I'm just gonna step in and defend Ruben for a second. I've known him since the 3rd grade, and so I apologize that Stanley and Ruben are not getting along tonight, but I'm not kicking Ruben off for stopping the show. But I respect y'all. If you don't want to be in the chat or hang out with us, that's fine.
It's so ridiculous. It's over a fucking TV show.
Well, Ruben, let's just move on.
Over a fucking TV show.
No, this is what's happening.
You guys keep talking about Star Trek.
This is what's happening on Trek Twitter too. I see it happening all the time. Is that folks just kind of get caught in like, this is it good, is it bad argument, or like.
And I wasn't even arguing that.
Well, yeah,
I wasn't arguing whether it was good or bad. I don't care if it's good or bad. I don't watch it, so I can't make that.
I mean, you're playing a video game and partially in the conversation, so I can get why you're probably not,
Right. I asked for clarification.
Not paying attention or whatever, but that's cool. That's After Darks. That's what we're here for. Do you need some time? Should we talk
Joe,
about it?
Right there, another one, lack of promotion and merchandise. That's a big sign of popularity. Like,
look at this.
I don't understand.
Here, we're gonna go to the comments to get out of this groove here, and we're gonna go and see what's going on. Joanne Robertson says work. Let's see. I kind of wish Cerulean Blue's still watching. Let's see what Uncle Art said. This is my uncle, everyone. McGowan wanted to only 6. Oh, we're talking about The Prisoner. Yes, where's that? Oh, here we go.
Is there like a new prisoner?
What are
Ruben,
y'all talking about?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get Ruben to kind of like, not worry about what just happened. And,
I don't give three shits about what
you're the only one who's worried about it, so
yeah, to me it's ridiculous. Like, it's. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not your friend, but
then let's not
like,
talk
just
about
ridiculously childish, bro. Like, grow the fuck up. You can't talk about a TV show with someone who just doesn't agree with you. Like, that's kind of silly, in my opinion. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
So, what were you guys even like? This all started from like mergers and wrestling and everything like that. I don't know how we went so far off track into like Discovery's popularity, but Ruben, suffice it to say, we disagree with your assessment of Discovery's popularity. Do you accept that? And can we move on?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good. So the other good news, the other bad news we got was that, well, actually, no, this was good news. I guess we should talk about this because Father was trying to get us to talk about it first, which is this new Star Trek movie that's the origin story. And what details do we actually have about that?
Nothing. That it takes place decades before Star Trek 09. My theory is that it will be about the Romulan War or formation of the Federation, which I thought would be like really exciting. But I don't know. We talked about it on Text Trek, and Dave was like, "Well, that sounds weak."
I agreed with Dave. I don't think it should be about the Romulans. I'm more on the if you're going to do an origin story of Star Trek, I like this thing that someone posted on Twitter where they showed the primordial goo landscape from All Good Things.
No.
Like, here's the origins.
Y'all forgot. There is a whole Romulan War trilogy planned, in like 2005, 2006, the story broke on Ain't It Cool News that Dave used to work for back in the day, our Austin-based website, before we knew Harry
Wait,
Knowles.
how am I
was
just
too
finding this out
touchy-feely.
about Dave?
But because I
That's
told you
crazy.
before and you got drunk and forgot.
Oh,
But
I'm not that drunk tonight, so I won't forget.
yet you're not that drunk.
I know
yet.
I might have to get drunk.
But yeah, I mean there is already an idea for this, but I don't like y'all don't want to see the Romulan War. You're not curious about that shit. You don't
I'm not, 'cause I
you
like
never
the
want it explained.
You know what it
the
is?
Romulan
Cool.
War explained.
You know what it
That'd be
is?
really cool.
Man, I've been
I
thinking about this
mean-
shit all my life, but I guess I'm the only one.
I've been thinking about this.
But
I've been thinking
I
about
want
this
like
shit
the I
all
want
my
the
life.
Picard. I want the. I don't know why I still have this uniform up. Hold on, let me pull this down. I want the Picard Romulans explored more. That's the era that of the Romulans that I'm more interested in. I think they're just more interesting than the Romulans we got in Enterprise, which is what I associate the post. Isn't that post Romulan War Romulans in Enterprise, right?
No, they're before the Romulan War.
Oh, really? Okay.
The
Yeah,
Romulan
we
War
didn't even
would be
see
after
them
that.
actually. I mean, I don't know. Is it supposed to be a Kelvin film or a?
Well, that's the thing. I think it will work as a prequel to both. I think they will treat it as a movie that takes place before the Divergence point, and it's a prequel to both the Prime Timeline Star Trek and the Kelvin Star Trek.
Huh.
Oh,
That's interesting.
so
That's gonna fester.
and what period what would Archer would just be a kid during the Romulan
No,
Wars? Was he alive?
it would take place like shortly after the end of Enterprise.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Sorry, that you said it
Oh,
takes place
okay.
after.
All right, that's interesting.
I'm a little more interested because like that means Scott Bakula could just be in whether it's Kelvin
It would
or
actually
not.
be hard to fit them in it if it's Romulan
Really?
War because they look too old now. They're all like 20 years older looking, so
So then if it was a Kelvin film, you could just recast all the Enterprise folks.
but the Enterprise takes place before the USS Kelvin. Now you can make the argument that because the future versions of Kirk and Spock would be different, that their time travel adventures back to the past, like Star Trek IV and City on the Edge of Forever, would have happened differently. So even the 22nd century of the Kelvin timeline would still be differently. But I don't think the producers who make the Star Trek movies actually think about it on that level, and they would just be like, oh, this is before the Divergence. This is a prequel to both. It works as a prequel to Kelvin or Prime. So I think that will be the most likely outcome.
What would be like? So it would be NX-01 would maybe become the version we saw in Picard. Like it would be if it were around,
maybe,
right?
You could just. I think this won't have anything to do with Star Trek Enterprise though, or with the NX.
No, but I mean just in terms of what I mean to say is like the era or the design.
Yeah, like around that era.
Like that era, yeah.
That
that's what I'm
aesthetic,
saying.
Yeah. And the script for a version of this movie from almost 20 years ago that Rick Berman tried to pitch to Paramount after Enterprise got canceled. They would have mentioned the NX-01, but they would have been like, oh, they're off on shore leave at Risa, so they're not. And it actually followed like a new crew and like a different set of people, and it would have been the first movie of a trilogy. And I think it involved the Romulans actually like capturing planet Vulcan, and Earth would have to. It would like have the setup for like the sequel would be like Earth would have to unite with other races to fight the Romulans off of Vulcan and try to like liberate Vulcan.
I would
if
like
you could get.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Marcel.
No, I'm sorry. If you could get any current writer who has written in any era of Star Trek to write this movie, who would you pick?
In the current era?
If this movie, either the current era or the Berman era.
That's
a
weird question. Like, I mean,
okay,
modern TV is
okay.
kind of.
Are you trying to say any living writer associated with Star Trek? If you could pick one, who would it be? Or do you mean any writer, dream writer? Or
no. Any writer who has written for Star Trek at a
They
point.
already got a writer. It's that Graham guy, that Seth Graham dude is
Oh,
writing it.
and he's gonna do this, the Star Trek
Yeah.
Origins. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that this didn't have a writer.
By the way,
That's
the
why-
name of it is not Star Trek Origins.
no,
I just put that up there. 'cause
They want to start shooting this year.
Oh,
So they actually have it
oh.
on the slate for next year, but I'm already assuming it's going to get pushed back to 2026 because they're going to want to tie in
okay.
for the 60th anniversary.
Okay,
So-
well, no, no, that's the only reason I asked the question because I didn't think this project had a writer yet. That's my fault.
Yeah, it has a writer and a director.
My fault. I didn't know that. My
And,
bad.
and the fourth Kelvin movie has a writer but no director currently.
Right. But we all know that's going to change because it always does.
It also has like 4 previous scripts. Oh, and the Kalinda Vasquez movie is still is still in the works, and we don't know anything about that. She wrote the short trek called Ask Not that probably no one remembers,
Ron
but I like
DeMoore.
it because it mentions the Tholians.
I like that.
Norman
Thank you.
Buckwald picks Ronald Moore for your question, Marcelo.
Ronald, I like that pick.
Or
At
Ron
least-
D. Isn't it Ron D. Moore?
Yes, it's Ron D. Moore, but Ron Moore will just work
There's
this
also a Ronald B. Moore who worked on the
There's
effects.
Ronald B. Moore. It's
one.
true.
Ronald B. Moore. Yeah. No, but
Oh,
you
I
know,
like Joel's pick of Neil Gaiman. Why not?
Oh,
Yes,
Neil Gaiman. That's not.
that would be an amazing
good choice.
writer for that. I
That's
like
a
that
good choice.
question.
No, but but you know, I mean, the main reason why that question popped into my head before I knew that Father filled me in that the project already has a writer and director. The main reason, because I'm obsessed with the idea or the possibility that a writer from 90s Star Trek will come back and do something in the current
Mm.
era. You know, like someone like a Ron D. Moore or someone like a Brandon Braga or an individual like that. Even
I hope Brandon Braga doesn't come back.
right. Well, okay. Even somebody like
Manny
I mean,
Cotto
this
was
is-
mine before he passed away. I always thought he would be a
Right.
likely one to come back.
yeah. I mean, even someone like I mean, he seems to be focused on independent projects these days. But even like somebody like a guy that Father interviewed, that's one of my favorite interviews that he's ever done. Ira Stephen Bear, I think.
I would
But
pick
I
Robert
don't-
Hewitt Wolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to see what Wolfie would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I would have gone with my question if I had known that if I had known that the project already had a writer, but I didn't know that. So
Neil Gaiman would have been perfect for the old one style monster in Star Trek Picard season 1. What was it, Synthulu? Well, it didn't
Man,
really
are
have
you-
a huh?
Are any TOS writers still alive? Who do we still got from
I thought
TOS?
there might be some.
There's a
Who's the
few.
youngest
I know,
one?
Probably what's his name? Tribbles guy, David Gerald.
Yeah, I think he's still alive.
Derek Gerald.
Let's get David Gerald to write a Star Trek
That would be
movie.
What, has he
No.
written books? Look at us. We're already
He's
like
written all kinds of shit.
we're
Probably well.
with Star Trek. I'm still
I actually
on,
I wouldn't want him to write a Star Trek movie, but
going back to Star Trek, the Star Trek project, which is supposedly going to happen for sure, but we don't know a lot about. But you said something interesting about it lining up with the 60th. So the 60th is actually 2026, right?
right.
Oh, okay.
But I think that's when we'll get our next Star Trek movie.
I can't believe Star Trek's 60 years old. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
And that means
that's
Text Trek
insane.
will turn 10 because we started on the 50th. We started a few months after Starfleet Boys started.
So we'll turn 10. I'll turn 10 just a little bit before you.
Yeah, in February,
Yeah.
right? When did you
Oh,
start?
Arthur and Joel say that David Gerald actually writes a lot of books, so we'll have to
Yeah.
check him
Oh,
out.
cool.
I don't know
Oh,
if you guys
Larry Niven. I want Larry Niven, Kazenti
is he
dude.
still around?
I want him to write the Kazenti
Oh,
War
dude.
movie.
Gazinti dude. Okay. Yeah, no,
None of these projects sound realistic to me. I can't think of a Romulan War project being interesting. I can't think of a Kazinti War. I just don't want to see any more wars. I don't want the Star Trek origin story to be a war-based story. I'd love it. I'd love for it to be a peacetime, aspirational movie. Maybe the first. When I hear Origin, I think the reason why so many people are saying April is because when you hear Origin, like I feel like that the story of Star Trek, we've gotten the origins of Kirk, we've gotten the origins of Spock, we've gotten the origins of like pretty much, we're getting the origins of pretty much every character. But the true last origin story, or the biggest origin story, is that of the Enterprise, because I think Star Trek, I know it's no longer about the Enterprise, but I think the Enterprise is just such a big part of Star Trek, and what it means and stuff like that. So that's why I think the Robert April idea is appealing to me, because it's not a war. I'm just tired of we have so much war in real life right now that it's like the last thing I want to see is like another conflict based story. I'd like Star Trek to kind of go away from that personally.
What about if this movie, I mean, this is probably not what it's about. What if this movie is about Archer's father and the development of the first Warp 5 engine? I mean, that sounds pretty.
I don't think they're gonna make a movie about like building a starship, but maybe. But I don't know. That just seems like a strange pitch.
I think that it wouldn't be about building the starship, but it might be about building the Enterprise's first maiden voyage, if you will. Like that, and what Enterprise are we gonna get for a new feature film? Like, are they gonna go? If it's a Kelvin movie, we know more or less what she'll look like, and if it's we've seen the Enterprise has changed many a time, so maybe she looks like different in that. Maybe it goes back to that other Enterprise, the one that looks really cool with the ring. What's that?
If it has an Enterprise. Oh, it might be a movie about that Enterprise. Yeah, the Ring Enterprise.
That might be interesting, because you could have a lot of, it could still be. Ooh, and what if it was like a horror story? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I want a horror story. I like horror stories, but not too scary. I don't know if Star Trek has now.
He's an old school Trek fan. Like
he's gonna
it'll have some reverence.
Right.
Let's see here. PJ says this origin movie will probably never happen. They can announce all the Trek films they want. I don't believe them anymore. We are a little traumatized by Trek
disagree.
films.
I think they'll put out a movie for the 60th anniversary. I think that they'll have a movie in theaters in 2 years.
Yeah,
but we'll find out then.
Ruben, what would get you to go to the movie theaters to see a Star Trek movie on the 60th on opening night?
To the movie theaters? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's the movie theater.
Next to impossible.
No, but what kind of a Star Trek would get you out of your seat to go see? In the theaters?
I mean, we're talking about what, 2 years from now is the 60th anniversary?
Yeah.
That would be some fucking hell of a movie, let me tell you.
So yeah, what would it be like?
For me to watch a Star Trek movie right now, Star Trek would have to disappear from TV for a good 5 years and just go silent, and then come out with something.
All right.
And then come out with something that's its own thing, is its own universe.
In a movie, you want to see a movie just like.
I think Star Trek works best as a TV show.
Right.
But right now, no. Right now, to me, Star Trek needs to go dark for 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Would you go see a Voyager movie, Ruben? Would that get you out of your seat? No, I would love to see. How about a Deep Space? How about what?
You don't even watch Voyager.
I'm loving it. What I've seen.
Voyager, man.
No, I do. Like
I would go see Voyager in the theater, even though I won't see it here at home.
I will watch it at home on TV, on my awesome TV.
No,
Yeah, I agree with Boatwreck about Dune too. That's a good movie to see.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to wrap up the Trek talk, or do you have more? And then we'll go to X-Men '97.
No, I mean,
I have a lot of questions. What was that, Marcelo? Go ahead.
No, I'm like, I'm really intrigued with what Star Trek Origins is going to be. I think it's going to be the most obvious thing that we can think of, but I really like speculating. I don't know where it's going to go, but I hope it happens. But I would like to just back up Boat Trek for a minute, I would take the approach to not say that these movies will never happen. I'll just say wait and see. You know.
Right, you're still not you. A lot of my friends are saying the same thing. They're like, until I can buy a ticket for it on on the internet.
I mean, the reality is, until any movie's out, it's not out.
Right,
You know,
right.
we've seen movies that have been finished and shelved.
Come out.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true. There's
They
been
could make a
been
Star Trek movie
trailers.
and then never release it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
that is
Could you
true.
imagine?
So the reality is, until a movie's out, it's not. It's nothing.
Oh, I would be so fucking pissed if they shot like what if that happened, like what if it like in a few months they're just like, oh, by the way, that Section 31 Michelle Yeoh movie, it's got deleted, not coming out.
No,
Y'all
don't do it.
We
No,
shot the
don't put that
out
entire
of the
thing and
universe.
just threw it in the trash. Like,
No, please don't
but
put that
that
in the
could
universe.
that is possible. That we
Yeah,
live in a
definitely
world where
possible.
that could happen.
Yeah,
happened
Yeah,
since
it's
the
true.
beginning
It's a
of time
scare.
to be filmed. There's plenty of movies
All
that
right.
we shelved, and
Speaking of losing beloved thing.
I mean, the movie Idiocracy was originally called Mr. 3000 and was made like 4 years before it came out. It took two or 3 years
yeah.
before it came out, and it was just shelved for years.
Shot here in Austin, Texas.
You know, that happens all the time. Now
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
tax thing. You know, now movie companies can use it for tax purposes, which is even crazy.
Has anyone
Right.
done that other than Warner Brothers though? Is that like only David Zaslav?
I mean, they did it a lot because they shoved a bunch of stuff. I don't know if anyone else has done it.
Could they be better about? Well, no, because they're not
really,
shelving projects, but they are.
Warner
canceling
Brothers is doing
projects.
bad. Paramount's doing bad. Comcast is okay. They're Comcast, so Peacock's always going to be okay. Netflix is Netflix. They're never going to. Not never, but
They're never gonna go.
You know what's
anywhere.
crazy,
Right.
Ruben, was how much money Apollo offered for Paramount Global was like 40-something billion. But they have, I guess, like
well, they have the luxury. They have content that they can license out that makes a lot of money, like Star Trek.
Coyote, our text message audience.
But they
says
have so
Coyote
much
versus
debt.
Acme.
I think that's the reason why they're
Yeah, yeah. The one.
Yeah, Warner Brothers and Paramount are in massive debt. Well, I mean, to be fair, all these companies, for the most part, operate with debt. That's kind of the way it works. They're always taking out money to make more content. So
Right.
they're always in debt, technically, to a degree,
Right.
you know?
Mhm.
So X-Men 97, what the heck?
Yeah.
What are the
that-
implications? Like, is X-Men 97 gonna affect the MCU cinematic universe? Like, are we gonna get the X-Men
No.
they're different universes.
Oh, okay, I see. We're the ones that we've seen up until now in this like saga of cinematic saga have been in 616, right?
Yeah, this
That
is a
year.
different universe.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a-
I didn't understand. I thought we were in 616, and I was like, what happened to my
Nope.
baby Gambit? So are they saying that X-Men from the 90s was also in another universe? Because this is a continuation of
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, right. There's a 90s
Okay.
Marvel universe. There's an X-Men cartoon, a Spider-Man cartoon, Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, Silver Surfer, and Iron Man. And that's all its own universe. They said that they're going to possibly do more stuff set there other than X-Men 97. They might do Spider-Man and some other things. So, but those characters exist, like in this world, like this Magneto, this Rogue, this what do you call it? Geonosia, right? That's like there's also going to be like Avengers and Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. They're hanging out there too.
This was a
Yeah.
wild episode. I've never seen it. Like totally changed how I see. Like, and I have to say, it was just like a really wild episode. I was so
I'm
shocked.
curious if the
everything.
audience, who in the
Yeah.
audience watches X-Men 97?
I don't
Joanne,
think,
you're only on episode 1.
By the way, I put the
watched,
spoilers thing.
episode 5 with me. I watched it in Discord last night. Me and Joel watched it.
Joanne's only on episode 1. Joanne, when we take off the spoiler thing, if you're gonna hang around, if you're still up, when we take the spoiler thing off, that means we'll stop talking about it. So you can mute us if you want to, and you could leave us running, or you could just, if you don't care about spoilers, you can listen to our chats about it. Ruben, you've seen X-Men 97, right? You're all caught up.
No.
Oh, but you don't care about the spoilers. You said that earlier, right? We talked about it. So
Yeah.
to catch
I
you up in a
cried.
way, Ruben, what is this, episode 5?
Yeah, 5.
So X-Men 97, takes over from where the show from the 90s left off, and Professor X is dead.
He's not really dead though.
I know, but he's dead according to the show, and Magneto has been bequeathed the X-Men, so he's their new leader. And these Sentinel things are going around, but there's just a lot of conflict. Humans are kind of like still, there's a lot of people want to embrace mutants, but there's still a lot of people that don't. And then the mutants, from what I understand, get on this island called Genosha. So it's like a mutant island, like their free nation, kind of like Wakanda is in a way.
From the comics.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's that story. So do you guys already know what happens? Is it following that story like to the T, or is it like
a lot of shit happens there? Like they used to be enslaved there. Like mutants were imprisoned and forced to work in labor camps there, and then they got their freedom, and it became a refugee site, and then they eventually declare themselves like their own nation, and they get recognized by the UN.
And it's like a party. Genosha, from what I saw, was like wonderful. Like there's like,
yeah, it's like an oppressed minority, and they finally get to go establish a safe territory.
But then this gigantic spider, mechanical spider sentinel, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Wow, Father's falling asleep.
Yeah.
Or no,
Yeah.
he's just yawning. This gigantic spider sentinel comes and like
the Godzilla Sentinel is what Gambit calls it.
Yeah, Gambit called it. And by the way, Gambit's so hot in the series. I was so upset at what happened.
This is like the best Gambit thing ever. Like Gambit is so cool in this.
Gambit is very cool.
And
But anyway,
I got so invested in his story.
I know.
I'll let you tell it.
What's her name? Rogue. And that whole thing.
Rogue.
Yeah, the whole
The soap opera element of it, like Rogue and Magneto. Like I love that. I love all of that.
Yeah, there's like a whole love triangle going on between Magneto. So anyways, I'm not even like, I'm just giving you kind of like the overview. This thing like rips through Genosha and starts killing mutants and left and right, and
blasting the shit out of the place.
Yeah, like crazy, like nuts. And so like Magneto tries. What are they? The Morlocks? What are the Morlocks? I don't know anything about the Morlocks.
They lived in the sewers of. They lived in the sewers of New York, and then so when Magneto is establishing a Genosha, he says like, "Oh, y'all don't have to live in the sewers." And he says to Artie, the little green mutant boy, he's like, "You'll never have to know fear again, child. Come with me." And then but now this haven that he's created is being wrecked by these Sentinels, this giant Godzilla monstrosity just blasting everything. So Magneto's cutting sick, trying to like save everyone, and then dies saving Rogue and Gambit. And then Rogue has Magneto's power and tries to attack the Sentinel. And then Gambit does the most cool, badass, fucking sick shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
On the
It was
fucking
badass.
on the Akira motorcycle.
I know.
Like if you've ever seen the anime movie Akira, but like the fucking badass animation and they gave him like the best fucking line of dialogue ever when he's like,
Yeah.
Gambit sees your bet and I raise you.
Yes, he did say that. That's
That's
right.
awesome.
And then he's like, the cards always fall in Gambit's favor. And then you think, oh man, Gambit, he jumps the motorcycle up in the air, he's about to fucking destroy this thing. And yeah, like the insect arm stabs him in the gut, and it's so heart-wrenching. So heart-wrenching. But then he gets to go out like a boss, and he uses his power of like anything he touches, he can destroy. Something you'd think would be like so destructive. Think of it like if you lived with that as your ability, is like, oh, things I touch, if I want to, I can make it blow up. I can just destroy things with my touch. What like a destructive power? Like he uses that like when he's being killed, like the thing that kills him, this monstrous robot tentacle, it stabs him. He's like, oh, but now I can use my power. Now that you've come here to kill me, now that you've put me in this position, this vulnerable place, but now this is where I can use like that terrible trait that I've been burned with my entire life. I will now use that in a beautiful way here to save everyone from you. And he made it blow up, and it was really cool and sad.
It was very cool.
Yeah, I was very, very emotional because I grew up with the X-Men to the point of really identifying with them as a kid. And I didn't know the storyline that they were pulling from, but when Gambit went out like that, I was like, wait a minute, they're not gonna, and then they did. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna pull some Red Wedding shit. I was like so shook. I couldn't believe that um they went there, but I'm so happy that they did because this makes me this makes me as an audience member really, really understand that nobody in this universe is safe right now. Any one of them can go at any time, and as an audience member, I really, really appreciate that. And I've watched this episode I watched this episode twice, and every time that scene comes up, I get just goosebumps of sadness going up and down my spine because of what the X-Men cartoon means to me, both the original version and this continuation so far.
Yeah, it made me cry, and I didn't think I would get that invested in it. And I told Joel when we were watching it, I was like, man, like I didn't think that would hit me that hard. But like I used to hang out with Rogue and Gambit, and I'd come home after school and watch X-Men
Yeah.
on
I
the
did,
on the
yeah,
92 cartoon.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. And it was funny when the show first started a couple weeks ago, I showed a friend of mine what it was, and she was like, "I had no idea you like X-Men." I'm like, "Yeah, but my first exposure to X-Men was the original cartoon that this was based on." She was like, "Yeah, well, maybe I'll check it out." I mean, I haven't followed up with her to see if she started watching the show, but hopefully she does.
Joel says Rogue is still really hot. 12-year-old me would be very happy. I've always thought Scott Summers was hot. Like all of his iterations have been hot.
Are all the X-Men hot? I think people like to draw sexy people.
I think the most hot X-Men in all of the incarnations that we've had so far has been Professor X, played by what's his name?
Sylvester, or not Sylvester McCoy. That's the Doctor Who dude.
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you. That's
some
funny.
other
I was
Scottish dude.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
James McAvoy for me.
He's the sexiest X.
But actually,
person.
but I mean, Sir Patrick Stewart's pretty sexy as Professor X too. Like, I would say that he's like a close second.
What about January Jones as Emma Frost? No one remembers her.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
you, Father.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Famke's Jean. Yeah,
Famke
yeah,
Janssen
yeah. We
Jean.
gotta go. We gotta go with one of the Star Trek actors too.
That's
So-
true, and she's the perfect mate, apparently.
But
so,
yeah, she's
No.
also like one of the most beautiful women ever. So
Yeah. No, but I feel a kinship with Jean because Jean and Cyclops are, I
it's a fun relationship.
I really loved them as a kid, and I sort of shoot them as an adult. But my favorite X person in the X-Men has always been, it always waffles between Jean or Cyclops. So, but my favorite iteration of Jean Grey is Famke Janssen. But I was really, really looking forward to seeing what Sophie Turner would do with the character, but she unfortunately got shortchanged by a bad run. When you really think about it, but hey.
But yeah, Ruben, X-Men 97 is pretty crazy. What could possibly happen? This feels like a
Time
season
travel.
finale.
Cable,
that's right. That
Jean.
one scene. That's right.
Whatever was like blast in her mind could be like messages from the future that she
That
can use to like change
was her son,
history, and then-
though.
Yeah, he's gonna try
okay.
again, I think.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Duh. It was
How
right
many-
there.
Say my first.
How many
rodeo.
How many episodes does this finish this
10.
first season? 10.
10.
Okay.
They're halfway.
And
done.
they've already
last
got
week-
3 seasons written or made.
Last week was two written.
These 2 written.
Which it's typical in animation. You order 2 seasons at a time.
Mhm.
Is Cable? Has he been in?
Yeah, he's in the old cartoon.
No, but he was also in. Was he the character
Josh
in?
Brolin, Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
I'm like
okay.
predicting y'all's questions. I'm being rude,
It's fine.
but
I just want the answers. I just want the answers.
yeah,
You have foresight.
you know, I'm
Sunspot's
like,
pretty
I'm like
hot
Dune.
too.
I'm like Paul Atreides. I got the
Yeah.
prescient vision. Oh, but Sunspot's been a fun inclusion. They never got to him in the old '90s cartoon, so they have him. And I thought last week's episode was really neat. So hell, remember how it was kind of a little 2-part thing? Like it felt like they were doing like an anthology where they had kind of almost kind of like the old more childish cartoons when they would have instead of a half-hour story, they would do like 2 little like 12-minute segments. In like Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, and stuff like that.
Totally.
But they had the Motendo thing, which I think that might have been the thing that Robbie hated. Which I can kind of
you know what?
Like
You know what?
Mojo is a hateable character.
You know what? I actually rewatched that episode, and I'm sorry to Robbie because I haven't spoken to him in forever. But I kind of liked that episode. Like
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Dave, my
was-
friend Dave, who's a heart. Dave was reading the Chris Claremont
He
X-Men
hated it, right?
comics in the '80s. No, he loved it. He likes that
Oh,
cartoon.
he loved
he
it,
didn't.
okay.
He didn't like the '90s cartoon, but he was kind of I don't know. He sounded like he kind of hated everything in the '90s, even when he was at that age in his life. But he really likes
Okay.
the new cartoon. But like he is a hardcore X-Men fan from like he grew up like the way I love Star Trek. Like Dave loves the
X-Men.
80s X-Men comics that Chris Claremont wrote.
Well, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I like I said, I rewatched it and it was just fun.
Animation's that's what makes me sad about I'm go back to Lower Decks, and I'm so glad Prodigy's coming out soon. I don't know when, but on Netflix. I have really masterfully avoided any spoilers. I've like insulated myself almost to fathery levels.
The French
think-
have been very good. The
Yeah, they've
French
been very good,
fans have been extraordinarily good. Thank you for if y'all want to talk about it to each other in French.
Is there like a French Twitter? Are there really walls on Twitter, like, or X or whatever? Like people are always talking about there's like we talk about it, Star Trek Twitter. Is there like a French Twitter and you just have to break through? Like, do you have to know Toddy to get into French Twitter?
If you
like,
have to ask, like you're already never gonna get in.
I'm never gonna get into
Yeah,
French
yeah,
Twitter.
good.
That's
But I
okay.
love French cuisine. I love French culture, so maybe I could.
You
They
know,
don't
but
give
I-
a shit.
but now's
they don't
definitely
give a
not-
shit that you love it.
Now's definitely not the time for me to sneak into French Twitter because I don't want
Prodigy
spoilers
news,
for
though?
Prodigy. Yes.
Prodigy news. We might learn something Wednesday. Because Netflix
Ooh.
might release their May
May-
announcements.
video, right?
Yeah, I think it'll either be on Wednesday the 17th or the week after that on Wednesday the 24th.
Oh, okay.
Very,
Very cool. I'm so excited about that. That means it's time for another Star Trek Prodigy rewatch. I love Prodigy and
Well-
Lower Decks because they're easy to rewatch. They are in tiny little bite-sized 20-minute. I'm not saying that Star Trek should completely change to that, but it's kind of nice to be able to binge a whole season in just 5 hours. It's really actually very
So
convenient.
what's your so now that Lower Decks is in its swan song basically, what's your favorite episode of the show from the seasons that we've gotten so far?
Pardon? What was that?
favorite
your
episode
favorite
of Lower
episode
Decks so
of the show?
far?
So far that we've gotten.
The Mariner and the Klingon in the cave just recently.
Mm.
Okay.
That's probably my
I-
favorite scene.
Yeah, for some reason the episode that I go back to the most
The
is
DS9
Crisis
one.
Point.
The DS9 one's my favorite.
DS Yeah, the
306.
DS9 one. The DS9 one was amazing because when that one came along, I remember the lead up to that, and we were so excited. But when it came along, it didn't really it didn't disappoint. It's
I think
fantastic.
the Rod episode with Peanut Hamper is my favorite episode.
But, but
Which is weird because like none of them are in it really. But I guess it's just so wild. Like I just love caca.
yeah, but also I just have this thing for Crisis Point. I'm like, there's something about it that I really identify with. I think it's a really interesting idea that Beckett would deal with her emotional issues with her mother by hijacking one of Poimler's programs and making a Star Trek movie to work out her shit. I really think is astounding. And also, another episode that stands out to me is the episode where Dr. Ta'ana recruits Tendi to go and get a statue, but she thinks she thinks of the whole episode that this is really mission critical, but Dr. Ta'ana actually wants the box that the statue is in, not the statue. So I don't remember what episode that is, but
That's
it's also one of my.
What is that episode called? I can't remember.
That's 202 though.
Yeah.
The girls trip episode.
Yeah, the girls trip. Yeah.
What the hell is it called?
Here, I'll look it up. That is a good episode. Girls trip.
Yeah.
Lower Decks. We should know these. Father, you should know all these titles. Triple.
Okay.
I don't know every episode title, but I always feel guilty when I don't know.
Me
will.
too.
Eventually.
Oh, it's something brought. Oh my gosh.
What is
No,
it?
that's the one previously. Sorry, it's the previous
Okay,
Orion
Sean,
episode.
his eyes open. Yeah, okay, so
Is
the one
it?
before that.
The one with the mistress, where we find out Tendy's the mistress, like
Of the Winter Constellations. Yeah.
Winter Constellation. Orion episode
And this is
season
the Winter
2.
Constellations.
It was.
No, it's 203. We'll always have Tom Paris because that was the B story, right?
Oh,
The
yeah,
A
yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
Both of the Orion episodes,
Oh.
Orion centric episodes, have really good B stories. Because my favorite B story of all
Oh,
time, I think,
yeah.
has to be the twins.
Twains.
The twins.
No,
yes.
but I was
I
like,
wish I could play it, so that
Man.
because Ruben doesn't watch Lower Decks.
yeah, man, I mean,
Ruben
Joel,
is
what
the
is this,
twin Twain with Stan.
What is this Lower Decks Choose Your Own Adventure comic? Warp Your Way. What is this like? I didn't know there were Choose Your Own Adventure comics.
I
There's
didn't
one
They're
know.
like-
coming out. There's the Lower Decks one coming out in October.
How do they
announced it,
work? They're
2
like,
months ago.
how
Yeah,
do
it
they
tells
work?
you like what page to turn to. It's like you just like, oh, you want to do this? Turn to this page. You want to do this? Turn to
That's
this page.
exciting because, like, a comic. Oh wow, what was the first Choose Your Own Adventure comic book that came out that you
Oh, I
all
don't know.
remember?
It's
Did you
not
ever
a-
play? Do you do them?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever. I don't think I've ever done that in comic book form. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I guess.
Mm. Yeah,
Huh.
no, I've never participated in anything like that. That would be
I've done
fun,
like
but-
the. Oh, and speaking of the '90s, when the Goosebumps books were popular, they also did a series called "Give Yourself Goosebumps," which worked like a choose your own adventure, but it was a horror story. So it was kind of fun. You kind of had something like, oh no, I might die, if I choose this thing. So it's almost kind of like playing a video game. It's actually like kind of Ruben, you're a big gamer. Like like horror games are so much more stressful and frightening than like horror movies because there's actual consequence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's not only that, you're part of the story.
Right.
That's
right
why,
there.
for me, a lot of video games to movies don't really work because you're separated from the story when you're watching it as a movie. Whereas, yeah, sometimes it works, of course. It's not every case, but I think that's why it took so long to figure it out. So yeah, horror to me works amazing as a video game.
I remember reading some kind of Star Trek Choose Your Own Adventure thing, but I can't remember what it was. I just remember like the books. Choose Your Own Adventure books were fun.
I didn't know
when
they
you were
did
a kid- when we
I
were
didn't know
kids.
they ever did a Star Trek one, but that'd be a fun thing to do online. That'd be a fun thing to do with content. Be like, okay, someone, if you want me to do this, chat it, or maybe like whoever super chats can decide which one I do or something like that. Or run
That's a good
poll.
idea.
You
do
could
the
do an
voice
audience
acted
poll.
comic book thing again.
Mhm.
I was a fan of that.
Yeah.
It was a cool idea.
You know what? I have the Star Trek Mad Libs. We can do that on a After Dark sometime. That might be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Actually, I love Mad Libs. Guys, I'm getting a signal from the cat to go feed him. But I want to hear about Fallout. Are you watching Fallout?
I am.
What is it on?
Yeah,
Amazon.
Amazon.
Padre doesn't watch Amazon.
Oh, I have something. I have a suggestion though. I have the Joker trailer. I guess is out now. I haven't seen it. if
Oh,
anyone
yeah, we
wants
can
to
play
look
it.
at that.
I was just gonna say though that I haven't seen Fallout either. So Marcelo and Ruben, you guys are watching Fallout. Did you play the video game Fallout?
I played
No.
1, 2, 3, and 4. No.
Did you play
BRB?
1, 2, 4, and 5.
I've never played. I watched a roommate play a lot of one, and I watched another roommate play a lot of another one, and I watched Antonia play a couple of them. So I'm very familiar, but I've never actually played.
But
Well,
you don't really need to have
wins
played the
and-
game to watch the show.
I don't mind
Joel's
spoilers
right.
though. Y'all can talk about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm just gonna go grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Well, why don't you do this? I'm gonna stay on the headphones, but I'm gonna go also get a refill and feed my cat. Why don't you guys start telling us about Fallout? Because I'm really curious about it. But could you start with the video game so it gives me time to come back for the show?
Sure.
Did you play the video game, Marcelo?
No, but like Fathery, I have been around people who have told me about
It's
the video
huge.
game.
Apparently, I've never played it. But all right, I'll be right
Only
back.
been
So
around for
make-
30 years. So
Marcelo, you're in charge because keep it classy, San Diego. I'll be back.
Okay. So I'm interested because Ruben, since you've played the games a lot,
Mhm.
is there anything about the games that transfers over to the show that is pretty close to
I
like
mean,
like for example, do they take like story threads from the actual game to put in the to put in these first couple episodes that come out, or
I
are they-
haven't noticed whole story threads, but I've seen the influences of different games and little
Oh, okay.
inspirations for some of the stories and bits that are going on.
Okay.
But to me, the show is a show made by somebody who actually took the time to understand the game and what
Uh-huh.
made the game so popular. And it's
Okay.
almost perfectly translated because the hardest thing with Fallout
Was what?
that separates it from like your typical kind of post-apocalyptic shit is the sense of humor that it has. It has a very peculiar sense of humor. Like you
Right,
watched it, right?
Yes, very off.
Yeah,
kilter.
so all those like jokes about like the cousins and like those kind of weird jokes, that's part of the game. So, and in the game it works brilliantly. Like it's just so hilarious when you're playing the game and you see these weird little things happening or hear these little jokes. So, and it doesn't always work in the show. There's some jokes that are, okay. But you know, then again, it's not going to be 100%. So,
Mhm.
yeah, no, to me, like the attention to detail is amazing. I mean, I could literally, I was watching with my wife, and there's a scene. I think it's when she's stitching her wound up.
Yeah.
Might be somewhere around there, but there's a scene where there's a poster in the background that keeps switching. It says "Good day, good night, have a great
Uh-huh.
day." That's literally from part 4. Like you start
Uh-huh.
off in the room with that poster. Yeah, and I also love that because the thing with Fallout is that each game follows usually one character,
Right.
but it's a huge, like super big dynamic world with a lot of different factions and whatever and all that sorts of stuff. And so it was curious to me if they were going to try to recreate a story from the game or go a different route, and they went a different route and are trying to kind of build the world out by having all these different characters. It's a very dynamic story where it's like all these different characters and interweaving and going in and out of each other.
No, but one of my biggest concerns, which is this is kind of funny, the brain trust that Amazon chose to shepherd the series, or what they sold it on, was from the minds of the people that brought you Westworld, in Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. Now, let me be clear. I think that these two people are very, very talented writers, writers right from the get-go, but I do believe that they lost their minds a little bit with Westworld, and I was very, very concerned. I was very, very worried that they were going to turn Fallout into another Westworld. But when I watched the pilot, I was really happy to discover that, like Ruben said, the individual that is actually the showrunner of Fallout has a very, very good understanding of the material that is based on that. If she decides to go into the greater universe of Fallout by going into all these different directions, she'll handle it a lot better than Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan did Westworld, because that really got convoluted. And watching basically like an open map a season of Fallout would be interesting to me. Although I do feel that it could get kind of convoluted. So I'm interested to see what she's going to do with that.
Well, if anything goes on long enough, it'll get convoluted. I never watched more than season 1 of Westworld. I liked season 1 a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel to me that Westworld is a story that works better as a story that ends, not as a TV show that continues. And so, whereas Fallout, I can see it continuing on a little bit better because it's such a big world of characters. There's so many characters in that game, and so many different types of characters that you can do. The show has such a great, like, even down to the way there's the main story, and then there's all these little side quests she keeps going on, and it's just like the fucking, like, it's like the spirit of the game is so well encapsulated.
Right.
The violence, the humor, the energy, the way vaulters are so weird because they're these little elitist assholes who live in this vault and they think they know better than everybody. So they did a great job. They're doing a great job.
The one thing that I will
season 2 before it even came out. Because modern TV is weird like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So we got a season 2. Okay.
Yeah, I think like 3 days before it came out, they announced it was renewed for season 2. I'm like, what? It hasn't even come out yet.
What? Okay.
What if nobody watches it? You're still going to do season 2?
Yeah. No, but the only sort of tiny criticism with these vault people, they have people in these vaults that have never been outside before, ever.
Right.
Or they've never been to the world above, right?
Right. Well, most of them, yeah.
And it really bugged the crap out of me that the individual lead character that we're following for season 1 of Fallout, when she stepped outside, it really bugged me that she didn't have a more
go blind instantly.
No.
From the first time I've ever seen sunlight.
I've never seen sunlight. Oh
my God. I could even tell you what a perfect like homage it is to the game, where that scene where she opens the vault door is almost identical to Fallout 4, where Fallout 76, when you leave the vault. The same arm thing hooks on, turns the door rotates, the light is super white, you can't see outside, and then it goes into a load screen, and then you're outside. In this case, we never see a shot of the inside of the vault from the outside or the outside from the inside. So it's just like she went through the load screen. Like it's such like I'm like Jonathan Nolan must be the biggest Fallout nerd and played these games because it's all there. Like it's all all these little details are there everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Even I mean props
cool.
like the costumes.
That's really cool.
I really think just another quick word on Jonathan Nolan, and I just want to be very clear about this. I really like him as a director and as a writer, but I do one more quick word on Westworld, then we'll go back to Fallout. I promise. I feel that Westworld should have ended. Sorry.
You're bitter. I get it. You're bitter how Westworld went. I get it. Go ahead, man. Bitter. Let it out.
I feel Westworld's natural endpoint was at season 3. That's it. That's all I'll say. But now back to Fallout.
Its natural endpoint is episode 0 because it's erased. David Zaslav erased it. You can't watch it anywhere. It's not on. It's not coming out on Blu-ray. It's not streaming. It got deleted. It got Batgirled.
It got Batgirled. I like that.
Oh my God! It got Batgirl. I just got that. That's great, Father. That's a great point. But now back to Fallout.
That's what happened in Discovery season 6.
Oh my God!
Y'all don't even remember it. They deleted its memories.
Yeah, it's just gone. It was there a second ago, but
Ella Purnell voiced Prodigy. She also voiced Jinx on Arcane. If you ever saw the amazing animated series on Netflix, she was voiced Jinx.
Yeah, but back to Ruben's point, like I really appreciate a creative individual that really does their research and that really, I mean, they don't necessarily have to be passionate about what they're working on, but she's pretty.
That's her.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Wendala.
Yeah,
Ella Purnell,
yeah.
She's well, I mean, she's sort of the main character, I guess, technically.
Yeah. No, but
the character is called Fallout Girl in Universe, right?
Fallout Girl in Universe. No, but
that's the character's name. If you read the manual inside of the Xbox game case, it has that little manual on the inside. If you read it in there, it has a picture of her, but it's in black and white, and then it says Fallout Girl.
Oh my God! Really? Wow. No, but I really appreciate that a creative individual like Jonathan Nolan has paid so much attention to little details like that, because I didn't know that about the load screen until Ruben brought it up.
I mean, that's the vibe it gave me, because it obviously doesn't go into an actual load screen like the game, but it had that vibe of like you're kind of loading with her, because it goes to the other side. The Ferris wheel in the back. There's a Ferris wheel in like at least 2 of the Fallout games, as far as I remember.
Wow!
Because New Vegas has a Ferris wheel and 76 has a Ferris wheel.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, a lot of them take place in the same region, so it makes sense. But yeah, I think it's a great show. They're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
The writing is tight. The motivations of the characters are really interesting. Like they're not all good people.
No, they're not.
The whole like theme of the way the father says to is it the father? It's repeated a couple of times about how you turn into something else, and how Walter Goggins' character turned into a monster, quite literally. The Brotherhood guy is turning into, he's got his issues.
One of them.
Yeah, he's got his issues.
I'm looking
at ghoul, right?
I'm looking at the chat, and I see PJ is saying GOT had faults throughout, but the early seasons are good, and even the bad seasons have good episodes. I think that's true.
Okay.
I stopped watching at season 6 and just pretended everybody died.
Yeah, I do have thoughts on Game of Thrones.
Really stop giving a shit about that show.
I don't want to. Yeah, Game of Thrones pissed me off. Yeah, but I'm very hopeful for the show, because I'm really happy that.
That looks cool. That looks just like the game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I got that Fallout helmet that looks just like that in my upstairs junk room. Antonia left it here when she moved out.
You know, for the most part, the effects with those Brotherhood armor, power armor.
Y'all want me to go put it on? Let me go grab this helmet. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah.
The power armor suits, for the most part, look fucking amazing. I mean, there's
Really?
times where they move a little bit like they're a little bit too light, but it's nitpickiness on my part. Otherwise, to me, they look amazing. I want.
Okay.
I actually want to learn if they actually made a practical suit for some of the shots where it's just standing around.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that scene in the beginning, in the first or second episode, it's the first episode when the black guy's getting interrogated for Maximus, when he's getting interrogated for possibly fucking up the girl, the
Right.
other aspirant, and then the Brotherhood, the power armors behind him, walking
Yep.
kind of back and forth every once in a while. Like I feel like that's a practical suit.
Yeah, I got that too. Actually, I want to ask you from a story perspective, what do you think? You're not done with the show yet? Yeah.
No, I haven't had time.
Okay. I'm not done with it either. So this is relevant then. What do you think the story? What do you think this first season is going to go? And what do you think we? Oh, that's a really cool.
I think it's going to have something to do with a new power source.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That's a really cool helmet.
Yeah, it was fucking the Brotherhood. And also seeing Michael Rappaport get murdered was fun because I hate Michael Rappaport. I can't stand him as an actor. I was like, yes, he's dying.
Michael Rappaport. Wait a minute, is that the guy? Is that the guy on social media that screams about everything?
Yeah, he puts out some crazy videos where he's screaming about something. I think about Israel or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've never liked him as an actor. I just find him obnoxious. Like I find him like he's like he wants to be. What's this guy from Demolition Man? The comedian that was in Demolition Man. PJ, I bet you will answer. The fucking Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary. Okay.
He reminds me of like he wants to be Dennis Leary, but he's nowhere near as talented as Dennis Leary, and so he's just annoying. But yeah, I think it's gonna have something to do with a new power source. I think I'm curious as to why they stole. Two things have me intrigued. Really, is why they kidnapped what's her name, Lucy's dad,
dad,
and how the bad woman knows her mom.
Do you think that the evil woman who stole Lucy's dad, like they were in a I mean, this is really TMZ bullshit, but Ruben, you know the way I write, so do you think that they were like in a relationship that nobody knew about, and that's how it happened? I mean,
I don't know. I'm curious because
it's kind of implausible with the Volt system, but I don't know, possibly.
Well, I was thinking like it's interesting because near the end when they're going to kidnap Kyle MacLachlan, the woman says, or Kyle MacLachlan says, I know who you are, or something like that, and she's like, everybody knows who I am. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious about that because I don't think he means like he knows her personally, because then he would have recognized her from the start.
Right, that's true.
But wait, so Kyle MacLachlan's on the show?
Yeah, he plays.
Don't tell me anything else. I don't want any more spoilers. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I gotta watch it right away now. Oh my gosh!
But then, I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, so he would have recognized her from the start. So he probably knows her through reputation, which means that he has a lot of knowledge about the surface world.
Right, that is just
and
not.
So that's interesting thing.
That for some reason
like your mother. Yeah, that's what the bad girl says. You look like your mother.
Right.
So I think Al McLaughlin must, and some of the vaulters, the overseers, probably go to the surface regularly.
Oh, what for? What
for
what?
research and to maybe test out the radiation levels. Maybe like
Oh, okay.
because the idea is to eventually repopulate Earth.
Right. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting.
So
just on a small note, it was really, really nice seeing Michael Emerson again. Because he doesn't really do a lot of acting these days, or I haven't seen him in
he's a
much
national
stuff
treasure.
since Person of Interest. So
He was an
it's
evil.
nice.
You like evil.
Yeah, I would.
He's
have,
awesome
yeah,
in evil.
that show has
Dave
been
likes
recommended to
Evil a
me,
lot.
so I think I'm gonna. I mean, it's finished, right? It's done.
The final season, I think, is coming out now.
Yeah, I still haven't seen the last season because the last season I watched started to get a little bit like, all right, guys, wrap this up. You've taken this, I think, as far as it can go.
Yeah,
but it's a cool show. Michael Emerson's awesome in it.
Cool. Yeah, no, I mean, Michael Emerson will always be. I mean, come on, I'm Damon Lindelof guy, so Michael Emerson will always be Benjamin Linus.
What was that cool show that Amazon had, like about the Loop? Tales from the Loop. That was a really neat show.
Tales
I
from the
know what you're talking about, but I never
I don't
watched
know. I don't know anything about any of this.
it.
Anyways,
Give me the loop.
So
I think we talked about just about everything. Is there anything we have left to talk about?
So,
Sorry, I
Hal, did
wasn't
you see
here for the thing. Oh,
Did
go
you
ahead.
see
That's
the
okay.
helmet, the Fallout helmet?
show
No,
him
let me
the
see
helmet.
it. Do you still have it?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go put that back on.
Okay, would you just show it to us? Just lift it up.
I'll put
Is
it
it here?
on if we can watch the Joker trailer.
Oh yeah. All right, cool. Let me cue it up.
The Joker trailer was fun. Disturbingly fun.
I'm gonna go
The Joker.
grab a drink. I'll be back.
All right. Oh wow, that's really cool. Oh, I'm gonna put you up on. And what are these characters in the game?
They're like
some kind of,
mech
like-
robots,
Yeah.
but they have actual people inside them. They're not.
Do you guys categorize people by their personalities and the various Star Trek races that we've seen?
No, I don't do that.
What?
Like it? Do you categorize either yourself or others by Star Trek, like the characteristics of a Star Trek race? So like,
That
oh,
is
that
such
person's
a
so
Tellarite
Vulcan.
thing to do. So hell,
Is it? Do
I
Tellarites
don't
do
know.
that?
What am I?
You're-
What alien am I?
I would either make you put you in Klingon, like you like to sometimes present yourself, and I think you like got a lot of Klingon characteristics like honor and yeah, there you go. So I think your own self-image, if it is Klingon, is also one that I share. I like to think of myself as Romulan, but I like that for your illustration, I got to
You're
be
a
Ryzen. And
Ryzian.
yeah, I like to be so yeah. But what would you classify me as if you?
I think Ryzen, you're a very like, I don't want to say carefree, but you're very you see the celebrations to be had in everything. You find
I do try.
you find the sparks of joy and try to celebrate them like how Ryzens like to indulge and celebrate. So I think that's very appropriate for you.
Thank you. What about
Yeah.
What about Marcelo? What would you put yourself as if you
He's
were?
a Tellarite. He likes to argue.
Yeah, you and
He's
Ruben
Yeah,
are
he's
100%.
gonna argue with me right now. He's gonna be like, no, I don't like to argue.
It's all right. No, actually, I would accept that. And Father's right. I do like to argue. I do like a good fight. So,
Or maybe
I-
an
you
You're
know,
both. You and Ruben are both Tellarites. You're a Tellarite.
yeah,
Ruben.
Okay.
No, Ruben.
Well, what do you see yourself as? What do you see
Marcelo
yourself
is the
as?
Andorian.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
Marcelo could be an Ender, and they're both stubborn races or species, I should say.
You guys should
Yeah.
come up with an astrology, but or like a Chinese zodiac, but for Star Trek.
No, that'll be fun.
So like instead of Year of the Dragon, it's Year of the Tellurite.
I like
What
that.
what do you see yourself as, Ruben? A Romulan?
What, in Star Trek races?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I would say a Vulcan.
You see yourself as a Vulcan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. Wise
Like-
man.
Like calm and never emotional and like doesn't change their demeanor. And
For the most part,
I
yeah.
could s-
Just pretty dispassionate. I don't really fanboy for things.
you were just in some kind of argument,
Well, I got called an incel douchebag. I don't know.
but a
what
Vulcan
the fuck
wouldn't
else.
react that way.
Just for
Like, a
saying
Vulcan
that
would-
there's different types of popularity.
I'm just
guys.
saying.
What's up?
Of
I'm
course,
just
Star
saying,
Trek's
Ruben.
popular
You
amongst its own
green-blooded
fan base.
hobgoblin.
I think you're like a
Green
half
blooded-
Tellurite, half. I don't know. I think you should
And then
I
Vulcans
mean,
are
whatever,
passionate when they lose their passion.
respect
when
to
they,
people's
when they lose their
self-image, but
controls. When they lose the control, they get very passionate.
Vulcans never ever lose control. That's a Spock thing. He's a
That's
half.
so
Oh,
That's
He's
so
half
not true.
human.
I just watched the episode where Sarek is fucking losing his marbles, and
Because he has a disease called what was
Well,
it? The
so
He got
Vulcans
a
do lose
disease.
control.
He got a disease because he shared part of his Katra with Michael Burnham when she got bombed by the Vulcan purist
oh my god!
extremist terrorist
No.
group.
wait, is that what it was? Because of the is that like in
Yeah,
established?
Star Trek Discovery season 1, the Vulcan Hello, and episode 1, and then episode 6.
No, that correlated with his memory.
Oh no, that's just
his-
Yeah,
oh, that's your theory.
Yeah, because they said it would have long term health side effects. So
You know,
Irritable
it's-
syndrome or not. No, that's what Picard had. Not aromatic syndrome. It's the hell is it called?
What, the Sarek
T'Lyn
thing?
has it. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, here we keep saying aromatic syndrome because of Jean-Luc, but hold
Ben,
on, I gotta pull up.
Bendii.
Bendii syndrome. Bendii syndrome. That's
I can't
right.
believe I just went into Google and I typed in Sarek disease. Sarek was spelled correctly. Disease was spelled incorrectly. And Google still knew what I wanted.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first thing that popped up was Bendii syndrome.
Google's got you.
That's awesome.
That's the
Google's got you.
AI has got me figured out. I've
Before I
given
play
it
this
so
ch-
many hours of YouTube of me just talking into these cameras. It knows everything about me. It's gonna predict what my next sentence is gonna be before I do. The captions are gonna start loading before I even say it.
Father, DC stuff okay to play on this?
Yeah, Warner Brothers ain't gonna
They don't
get
care.
mad.
Okay. All right, let's put
They'll let
this.
you know the trailer.
Before I press play on the trailer here, hang on, let me go over here full screen. So I don't understand, like, none of this lines up with my understanding. I know we went over this when we talked about the first Joker movie, but I'm really confused as to does DC also have multiverse? Just like,
Yeah.
and so
Yes.
this is the same scenario you guys were just explaining to me about
Yeah.
X-Men 97. Okay.
X-Men
All right.
97 separate from MCU.
This is
Joker
Elseworlds, yep.
separate from
Is this the same
Or
universe
Dave.
where Michael Keaton is Batman? No.
No, sir.
Like the other
No.
Michael. Or could he be Batman in this universe?
No, Jack
No.
Nicholson's Joker in
Is
Earth
the-
89.
This is
what I
the
call
universe
it.
where Richard Simmons is Batman.
This is the universe where Limp Bizkit stopped Bin Laden from knocking down the towers, and we live in a utopia.
And they
Wow.
wrote the song that brought peace to the world.
It was the fusion of hip hop and heavy
Rolling,
metal.
rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep
Yeah.
rolling, rolling, rolling.
I still
Mhm.
can't get over that Ruben thinks of himself as a Vulcan, but here we go.
Wait, what was your answer? I didn't even see
Does it
anybody
help
else's
to have someone to
answer.
talk to?
Oh, we'll get back to it after the trailer.
This
You'll have
is
to
a
live
social
with
worker.
suspense.
That's the social worker from the first movie, I believe.
Mhm.
Yes. Let me change the resolution here. It says
Yeah.
quality. We gotta go up to higher. There we go. 1080. Nice.
now
I
we're
can't believe you
cooking.
think I'm a Romulan. I'm a conniving,
Does it
Alright.
help? to have someone
backstabbing,
to talk to?
manipulative people.
I'm a Romulan. Let's
That's
watch
true.
the trailer.
My
So he's
mother
back on the streets.
always tells me to smile and put on a happy face.
This is the first trailer.
Yeah, this is the first
She
movie.
told
I've
me I
already
had a
seen this
purpose.
movie. I was like,
Oh my god!
Steve, you're right.
Wait, that wasn't the Joker, the new trailer. Hold on.
Imagine if that was the
Sorry.
new trailer. They're just re-releasing it with a new name.
I was like,
Am I gonna
was
get in
like,
trouble for
Man,
playing
this is so much similar shit to the first. Like, how is his mom alive again? Why is he back on these streets? Why is he back at those steps?
It's all the same. They're just copy pasting.
It's all the same.
They did.
Ruben Romulans are not conniving.
conniving.
If you had watched Star Trek Picard, you would know that Romulans are not conniving backstabbers, and if you watched Star Trek
Oh my
Discovery, you would know that too.
God, can
The
we-
Navarans.
Yeah.
I
can
did
we-
All right,
watch
wow, you could
Star
go all
Trek
the way up to
Picard. Thank you very
4K.
much.
I don't even have a 4K
Yeah,
stream, so I'm
It
at
took me. I know.
1080.
I just now got Text Trek up to 1080p, and now I'm like shamed for not being in
The
4K.
Romulans literally like kidnapped Geordi and mind-boggled him to
All right.
make him a walking spy.
All right, here.
They're his
here's
enemy.
The
They're-
trailer.
They were enemies.
That's
at
right.
the time.
They're conniving, manipulating.
Joker
there it is.
do. Who? So hell, you know more French than me. How do you say that
What do you
shit?
do?
I actually
Folie à deux.
don't know how to say this.
God
And
damn
I
it.
forgot to ask Trek on the tube because he would just
Ask
say it, but I
Google.
imagine it's like folie à deux.
Just ask Google. to
Folie à
pronounce it.
deux.
And what does that mean?
Google doesn't pronounce things right, I noticed. It means here, I'll look it up. I
It
remember.
means something of two.
A folly of two or something like that.
Yeah, folly of two.
So it means rare. It's okay. Folie à deux, also known as shared psychotic disorder, is a rare mental illness that occurs when two or more people share similar or identical mental disorders.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
like those two Swedish women that kept like running into traffic. I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
It's characterized by the passing of delusions from one person to another, who is known as the inducer. For example, a mother may pass a delusion of poisoning to her daughter. So that's what that is.
Oh,
And it
it's like
and it
Munch
does
songs.
literally translate to folly of two. So the folly of two. So that's what.
Oh,
That's really
congratulations,
depressing.
Ruben.
What's that?
You got the French correct. Congratulations.
Oh no, but it's folly of two is the translation. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm not gonna make Google pronounce it because I don't trust Google's pronunciation. I'm just gonna ask a French person.
That's a fun name
more-
for a movie about the Joker and Harley Quinn, which I think that's what this is about. I think it's Lady Gaga plays Harley Quinn and Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker, but I don't know. I've not seen the trailer yet.
All right, here we go. So since Father hasn't seen it, I'm gonna not talk during it, but you guys can talk.
Watch
if you want
the
to.
first trailer again.
Here we go.
Let's go, boys. It's showtime. Wakey, wakey.
Locked up in the nut house. It's
Hey,
how
Fleck,
the first
you got a
movie
joke for us
ended.
today?
Yeah, Arthur Fleck. That's his name. The sad clown. So I guess he's doing time in the Gotham State Hospital.
We use music to make us whole, to balance the fractures
Okay.
within
So
ourselves.
there's a music's gonna be a thing.
I'm nobody.
Okay, there's the steps.
I haven't done anything with my life like you have.
Gaga. I assume that's like a delusion or a hallucination.
Yeah, maybe.
What the world needs now is a love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just.
It's funny to see this like grounded, gritty, like 1970s, 1980s New York
The
type.
cinematography is just beautiful. The guy who did the first one was brilliant.
Todd Phillips, right?
Is it the same guy?
I
Did you
believe
get
so,
Todd Phillips back?
Yeah.
And the
That's what you
same
should be
Notafu
talking about.
director.
Yeah, same director.
Was it the same cinematographer? It looks like it.
Let me see.
Joel says yep.
I want to see the real you.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, guy look. Yeah, the first one was like watching butter melt. It was just beautiful. It's so fucking amazing. And this one looks
Watching butter melt.
it's gorgeous.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
like they
What are your first?
it's like they went back to the 70s with a 4K camera.
It's
and
really
made
it's
the
really
movie.
impressive that look that they were able to create, and that they were able to recreate. You know, they were able to like capture lightning in a bottle again. It looks like with the part 2.
At
So
least
interesting
look
to
of
me.
it. But yeah, it is
Yeah,
a
it
very
looks good.
compelling looking movie.
And Harley Quinn's a character. I mean, like the Joker was created in the 1930s, right? He's like super old school, kind of like old school, like gangster, you know, mobster Hollywood type of like old school criminal type character. Harley Quinn was created in the 90s cartoon, so it's also
Yep.
it's like take her and put her in like the grounded, gritty taxi driver type Gotham City retro setting. That's something that like no one's ever done before, because she didn't exist, you know, back in that
Right.
era. So
Yeah.
that's neat.
Yeah, the like that fact about Harley Quinn, like the fact of her creation and where she came from to me is the most fascinating thing ever. Because she came out of the 90s cartoon, and the way that she's adored by like a crap load of comic fans and DC movie fans for all the time that she's been around, and the fact that she is the basic true love of one of DC's, you know, top psychopaths is just really, really interesting to me, that a character that was founded on a TV show became almost bigger than a TV show in a sense.
I mean, BTAS was pretty huge, but yeah, Harley Quinn is one of DC's biggest characters now. She's
Yeah.
she's huge.
She's really
Like
up
Harley
there.
Quinn is like, I don't know, like is Harley Quinn as big as like say like the entire Star Trek franchise? That might be a stretch,
No.
but
Yeah, that's a stretch.
but she's
That's a stretch.
no.
I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying a word.
Thank you, Father.
I
That-
apparently
that-
trigger
You
people.
will not.
Because you do have an interesting perspective
God.
as a Vulcan. You know, maybe it baffles us very emotional people here when your
Oh
approach
my
there.
God.
That was
That
so
is a-
brilliant.
That is a comparison that I did not see coming. Holy shit.
Very good, very proper.
Where? Okay. Okay.
Y'all don't think
Probably
who do you
when
think
we
are
watch-
the top 5? Who do you think are the top 5 DC characters
What do you mean?
as far as
And
like franchise potential?
Oh, you're asking Ruben or just in
like
general?
who don't have a franchise already?
Oh, I see.
I mean, because Batman's number one. They can make Batman movies
Batman is
forever.
one. And
Batman's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, comic book
by
character
a
ever
huge
created.
margin.
Yeah, and I mean, in a certain sense, Batman is the greatest comic book character ever created because his origin story is so psychological that
Yep.
it could work as like a cartoony kind of like Joel Schumacher version of the movie. It could work as the Batman version of the movie. It could just work in any generation. It's a timeless kind of character.
I would
We have
say
Joel's top
You know,
5.
Spider-Man is another one who's timeless. You know,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say
that's the biggest-
Superman is kind of timeless too because he's a story that you can. He's a very simple character to get across, and you could do a lot with it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Joel says Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman, and Joker. Marcel, were you going to give us your top 5?
Yeah, no, I was gonna go Superman, Batman, and Catwoman. Yeah, and Lex Luthor. Yeah. Um.
And that's
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
right?
That's 4, right? I need one more.
Yeah. You clearly don't spend a lot of time in the DC. Neither do I really, but
No.
I think I'll be able to come up with 5 though. I think
5
Not
DC
really.
characters franchise who would make for good franchise.
Well, the question was actually who are the greatest, right? Who, in your opinion, who are the greatest? What was the question, Father? Do you even remember the question?
The top 5 biggest. But I'm distracted looking at Boat Wreck and Joel's conversation about the Video Archive podcast with Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery. I think Dave listens to that podcast a lot, and
Interesting.
he tells me interesting anecdotes
From it.
from there. Yeah, he says Tarantino's kind of chilled his personality after having a kid, I guess, or I don't know.
I'm
I was
making
kinda
$1
listening
billion.
to him, but-
Did you know there are like something like 700,000 podcasts that are published? They're not necessarily active, but that there's like 700,000 podcasts. I think that was the number I heard. It sounds like a lot, but it also doesn't sound like impossible.
I can look it up. How many like podcasts there are in
Because podcasting started like a long time ago, like in 2000. I want to say 2005 or something.
So I looked up how many active podcasts are there.
That's active. I just mean all ever published.
Well, no, I mean I wanted to see active. I was curious because
okay.
you got me curious about active podcasts, and it's
So
crazy.
what is?
Are you ready for this shit?
Yeah. What's the number?
Because I was not expecting this number. As of February 2024, there are currently 3.2 million podcasts. That said, exact figures can vary significantly depending on several factors, most notably the inclusion of inactive podcasts. Podcast Index, for example, estimates the figure to be closer to 4.1 million.
Oh, that's a lot more than I
Jiminy Christmas.
heard.
That's a lot of podcasts.
Oh wow,
Wowzers.
4.1
I'm actually-
million.
I was actually thinking of launching a new podcast or a new YouTube channel or a new combination.
Oh, don't do it, Fathery. As a guy, let me
Ruben,
give you some
what's the
advice.
most popular? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Marcelo. Go ahead.
As a guy who loves what I do, but I run 4 YouTube channels, and every one of them besides my original channel is dedicated to a podcast. So for love of God, if you at all cherish your sanity, don't do it. Like
Y'all
like
don't even
just
want to
stay
hear what
with-
it would be about. Y'all don't even want to.
I do. I want to hear it.
No, but I'm just saying if you're gonna do that, seriously, think about getting people to help you because it's probably gonna drive you nuts.
Well, Marcelo, just because,
I think he's
but
talking
you
about
have like
flavor.
20 million. Yeah, you have like 20 million podcasts, and you're on like 5 million podcasts. So like, I don't know why you're telling Fathery not to.
We're gonna have to
No, but no,
do one with
No,
podcast.
no. I just want to be clear. I'm not telling him not to do it. I can't do that. I can't speak for him. But I'm just saying.
It sounds like what
before
you're
you do
saying
it-
is you
No,
don't
but-
want to
but-
be on as many podcasts as you're on right now. Because no, I'm just
No,
teasing.
but
I'm just teasing.
No, but I'm just trying to tell him, just to think about it. Make sure it's something that you really want to do.
Now I want to
Yeah.
know the idea.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
no, but-
curious.
but-
What would people think? What would people think it would be?
You were gonna do it if you're gonna do a new podcast.
Yeah.
I know, but I think it'd be really cool if it was something like sci-fi related that wasn't Star Trek. Like that would be really cool because as long as I've known you, I've heard you talk about one thing incessantly, and it's the thing that I love. But it would be really cool to see you talk about another science fiction franchise. Like it'll be really
Babylon
interesting
5.
to
Babylon
hear you
5.
talk about that.
He's already done about Babylon 5 side quest.
Yeah, although Dave and I, we do the legacy Star Trek shows, and we approach those season by season. Like with Star Trek Enterprise, we did season 1 earlier this year, and it took us 3 weeks to cover it. And we're gonna do season 2 soon.
I mean,
And
Father, you're a Buffy fan, right? You haven't done a Buffy show.
Yeah, I like all of Joss Whedon's shows. I don't know if I'd want to like.
Oh, so you're a misogynist too?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to like do like I don't know the Joss Whedon focused thing, but I lost my. What was I? What did you ask me?
We're trying to. Everyone's trying to hear your idea for your podcast.
Oh no! Wait! The Babylon 5 thing. But when Dave and I run out of legacy Star Trek shows, we could do some of the Star Trek adjacent shows like that, like B5 and Galactica and Orville and all of that.
No, Orville, right?
But I would actually want to do something focused on the DC Comics character Superman. Next year with the James Gunn movie and also just
Marcel's now saying, "Don't think about it anymore, Father. Just do it."
Oh
like,
no!
Now he's
he's not
gonna be like,
Marcelo and I are doing a podcast about Warehouse 13.
Oh yeah. No. He's not kidding. I'm seriously considering that.
People really like the other sci-fi shows though, like Lex, Expanse. I see all this stuff. So
Lex is awesome.
That might be
Lex is such a weird show. I would love to reboot Lex, but good.
I saw a couple of episodes like 20 years ago, and it was weird as fuck. It
or fucking Cleopatra.
I don't know what the hell I saw. 25. Hell yeah.
Yeah. These 3 girls will fight to survive.
If y'all want a podcast that talks about a lot of those like really shitty TV shows and Andromeda and stuff, because I was actually on my friend Mike Moody Garcia's podcast, Intergalactic. I believe is the name of it, but I was talking about the first 2 episodes of Andromeda, written by Deep Space Nine's own Brian Hewitt Wolf. Is his name right? We were talking about
Robert
Hewitt Wolf. Yeah. Right. I called him Brian Hewitt Wolf to Ira Stephen Bear.
Oh my god!
I know a guy in real life named Brian Wolf, so that's why I always try to do that. But yeah, so
I have an idea for a podcast that you and I could do together, Father. That might be fun. We could do a TJ Hooker. We
could do rewatch.
I could do a podcast if one of you guys is watching Unexplained with William Shatner.
I don't know if you could do a podcast around that. It's true.
Hell yeah. It talks about like fucking mythological shit and like cryptozoology. Like it's the most ridiculous show.
I'm gonna
pay this guy to just sit there and
after I'm done with Star Trek or caught up with Star Trek, where it's just like whatever the new show is or whatever the new thing is, where I'm not doing like a retro podcast or whatever, a retro conversation episode by episode in like 7 years. I think I'm going to start a Happy Days podcast.
Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Days,
yeah.
Thursday,
you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
there probably already is one with 4 million podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Let's find out. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to Google biggest Happy Days podcast.
So Hale jumps the shark.
These days are ours. A Happy Days podcast.
There you go. See, that's a good title for a Happy Days. These days are ours.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really great. I saw we someone in the text message audience wants to know if you guys saw Merry Little Batman.
No.
No. Oh man, there's
Mary's
a Golden Girl.
Batman.
There's a Golden Girls drag brunch tomorrow, man. And I found out today, and I was like, "Damn, I can't go." Fuck.
Where is it?
In Wilton Manors.
Oh, cool.
I can tag you in the post.
Yeah, or just DM it to me. I don't like to be tagged. I've become antisocial on social.
You become antisocial. Actually,
I just only on Star Trek am I social, on the Star Trek Twitter as it's known. That's the only place where I'm social. You can tag me there. Golden Girls podcast would be good. Okay.
Well, I'm sure there's a Golden Girls podcast. I beat
No,
it does
there's
a Happy
probably
Days
several.
podcast. There's probably like a billion Golden Girls podcasts. I worked on a project that was really cool. It was going to be like a modern day Golden Girls.
No, you can't.
I see.
I don't think
it never
that's
got
where I
off.
draw the
Yeah.
line.
No,
That's
no,
where I
it
draw
wasn't
the
like
line.
a remake of it. It was like, kind of the spirit of Golden Girls, but set in a different.
That's very different in the
Kind of
spirit of. Well, I think 2 hours, guys. It's kind of the time limit for these After Darks for this old man. Is that cool with you all? Is there anything?
Yeah, is
Audience, we
there-
still have an active chat, so if there's anything we left on the table before I take
Yeah,
off
is
my
there anything-
badge for the
I
night.
see no one in the chat wants to subscribe to a Superman podcast.
I would. I would.
I would subscribe to any of your podcasts.
I
I was about to ask about the animated series. Is there an animated series stream
There-
tomorrow?
There is indeed one tomorrow.
the
So
finale.
I know.
Not
I'm
only,
so-
not only would I subscribe to your podcast, I would show up and say, "Have a great show, friends," and then hit the like button, stay for a minute, and then and then X out.
I wish you would just leave us running in a tab. I need like every time I get closer to the
I can do that.
YouTube. Okay, yeah, just leave
that's
you
not
can
one
mute
thing.
it. You don't have to listen. You can mute
No,
it. Just
yeah,
listen. That would be
Well, the
helpful.
counter clock incident will be streamed in the Text Trek Discord server. If anyone would like to watch with me and my friends,
Oh,
then join.
Yeah,
There's
I gotta
links-
say.
What
this
time
now,
are you
Ruben.
doing that? What time are you? Hold on, before you, Marcelo. What time are you streaming that? Right after this? Is it after dark, or is it tomorrow morning?
Y'all want to do it right now? I mean, we can do it.
No,
right
I
now.
kind of want to
We can
watch
do it right
something
now.
else right now.
Oh,
before
I
go
know,
to
I
bed.
know. I think I know what you. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's what I want to watch too.
OnlyFans.
It's a
But-
secret.
We're just gonna watch each other. No, that sounds even worse.
Oh, you got like an
But-
advanced copy of
Father, you're
Discovery.
one of the few folks that I could just sit and watch and not feel uncomfortable. I could just watch you and not feel uncomfortable. Like,
Same.
Huh?
while you're
Okay.
cooking or doing
Okay,
the...
tomorrow morning there
Can
will
you just
be
back that up?
tomorrow morning.
What?
Text Trek
No, don't
Discord,
back it up. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Counter Clock Incident animated series finale. I don't know what time, so just
3 p.m.
have
3 p.m.
notifications
Eastern,
turned
2 p.m.
on.
Central, and noon Pacific.
Yeah, but we'll watch it in Discord sometime before then. I don't know.
That's awesome. I can't wait.
10ish.
And
maybe?
yeah, 10 works. Your time 10 is my time 11. So
10,
yeah, that's
or
fine.
10 your time, 9 my time.
Yeah, that works.
That works.
That
How
works
about we-
even better
we
because I'm
meet in
up
the middle and
early.
do 9:30.
All right, 9:30 it is.
Okay,
Discord,
so 9:30 Central.
9:30. Yep. And you have to be a patron to go to this screening? No, this is Watch with
anyone-
Fathery, right? Yeah.
So go if you don't, you can find a link pretty easily on most of my videos on Text Trek, but just go to text-trek.com and click on Join Discord, and you'll probably get in there. I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day, or I would
True.
I would find a way to like put a link in the. Well, no, hold on, I can do this.
You do that
Um,
while
yeah.
everyone else does their thing. By the way, the other podcast I would do is Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy crossover. Which there's probably a podcast for that already. Ruben, what have you got to tell folks about what's going on that you'd like folks to know about? And I really want to have a whole conversation offline with you about Vulcans and
Oh, oh my god! You just want to have a fight with them.
did you put
Going on? Nothing. Nothing I can talk about. Yeah.
All right.
Working on projects and.
Well, thanks for scaring my friend off my podcast.
Oh,
earlier.
anytime. I mean, it was great
No.
meeting him for the first time.
No.
It was the best first meeting with someone ever, I think, in my life.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to
Ugh.
say. But I've known you since you have third grade.
Find
grade
Ruben in the
props,
canceled
so
section.
I have to
Cancel.
take you
My
as,
roommate in the cancel
I have to
section.
take you as
How
you
dare
are.
you question the popularity of my favorite TV show?
No, I don't think that's what I don't think that's what I'm gonna go watch the replay and I'm gonna give you my honest feedback if you want it. But if you don't care, I won't give it to you. But
Does that work?
Marcella,
Yeah.
Marcella, what do you got going on?
Yeah, if you guys want to check me out, the best place to go do that is on Twitter. I'm at CreekFanatic88. If you go to my profile, you'll see a link to my LinkedIn. You'll see a link to my link tree, which will uh, redirect you to all of my podcasts. But I would
That
just like
link
to
is
give
really
a-
cool. I'm gonna make
Oh,
one
you
now.
checked
I'm
it out?
inspired. Yeah, I did check it out.
Okay, cool.
I
But
forgot to
I
tell
do
you.
want to. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for checking it out. I do want to give a special shout out to one of my podcasts. It's called the Mixtape Podcast, where I and a dear friend of mine talk about film from a writer's perspective. That channel has, if you just give me a moment, I'm just going to look it up right now. I'm sorry to do this live on here, but I want to get the number right. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Oh, rad! Joel posted
Yeah,
the Discord
yeah,
link.
that channel currently has 261 subscribers. So,
Wow, that's
if
pretty
any,
cool.
yeah, if anybody who likes me and who watches me on these streams, and who has not subscribed to my that podcast yet or that YouTube channel, if you go to my link tree, you'll see a link to that YouTube channel where you can go and check out our previous episodes. And if you like us, you can give us a subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
I was listening to your Wes Craven episode a little bit.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't get to
Did
finish
you
it.
like
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. I like the chemistry you have with your co-host. It's very cool. You guys are fun, fun to listen
It's
to.
AI.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
a, they or their AI.
Yeah, it's a real time AI.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah,
that's dope.
yeah. No,
I would
actually,
honestly do a show with a real time AI. I'm just saying because I would want to confound it like Captain Kirk. I would want to be like Captain Kirk and confound it and make it blow up. I feel like I would have that. Well, actually, Ruben, you might have that. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming on. Father, did you?
The abuse I take on the show.
The abuse, yes, that's right. You should be able to handle it in stride like a water off a duck's back.
I mean,
That's
I'm
the
still
impression-
here, right?
Yes, it's true.
Yes, you are.
All right, live long and prosper, guys, and we will see you next time.